Is it okay if I call you Unc?
Yeah, it's all good.
All right.
I think I've earned that. Of course, they don't give me like top 5 handles, which I don't understand. Like that kind of happened here in Golden State. It was like B Diddy and the family. They was playing off of like the whole P Diddy shit, but that's canceled now. I'm back to Boom Dizzle.
Yeah. That's exactly what I've been trying to tell you. You don't understand.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice.
I know last week we said we had a very special episode for people. It was a big moment for us, right? We interviewed Darius Garland, one of our favorite players in the NBA, somebody we said a lot of good things about over and over. We came with a surprise Trey Murphy interview. It was awesome. I'm here to say today's might be even more special.
We just keep on coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. Endless, everlasting. We have so many surprises.
As you guys saw by the intro, as you guys saw by the title, today we have a conversation with you guys.
We do.
Today we have a conversation for you guys with Baron Davis. Another interview that we recorded also.
Yeah, put on for the Unks. Put on for the Unks. Put on for 2,000 Hoopers. Put on for the let's talk about it. Oh my goodness. And we did. We did talk about it.
We were talking about it for sure. We recorded a lot of interviews at All-Star Weekend. I think this is my favorite one. You know, like I said, Darius Garland's one of my favorite players in the league. It was awesome to have that moment talking to him. This Baron Davis one was maybe even a little bit more awesome. It was a very good conversation. Like Donovan said, it was the unction for sure.
Baron Davis,
so
Baron
fun.
Davis is absolutely hilarious, bro. When he like matched up with our energy pretty well. It was different, obviously, because there's a drastic age gap. But he like brought it
Drastic.
weird. Like
He's not Oscar Robertson. He's not Oscar Robertson. Like he's not 78. He's 40 something years old. Like
damn near is 78 to someone like me, bro.
like,
Drastic is hilarious. By the way, you guys know he's a little bit old. Just know he's old as hell.
Old as fuck.
Yeah, man. Real good conversation. Hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to send you over the interview now. We'll see you after for the regular episode for this week. Don't worry. I know you clicked it, seeing the title, thinking that everything's so different. You're still getting the normal TU3 content. So we'll be here after to discuss some of the biggest news stories of the week and then give you guys good old-fashioned TikTok time.
Let's go.
We're joined here today by a special guest. We got two-time NBA All-Star, Warriors legend, Clippers legend, Hornets legend, Baron Davis in the house. How you doing, man?
What's up, my guys? What's happening?
How you doing?
Real quick, is it okay if I call you Unc?
Yeah, it's all good.
All right.
I think I've earned that. You know,
All right.
I used to be offended by the Unc thing, but now, you know, I'm in Unc status. You know, so.
what age is Unc status? When do you actually start to be like, okay, I guess I am Unc?
Cross the threshold.
Yeah, is it like 32
You know,
the line?
I say when your teammates, kids, become of age. So when they like 13, 16, you know, and so I'm watching this next generation, right? And, you know, 20-year gap, you Unc. You know what I mean? 10-year gap, big bro. 20 years,
That's
you know, that's my Unc.
big bro.
Yeah, 10 year I can be big
That's a
bro,
good
but Unc is definitely 20 years.
I had
Damn,
kids
you know?
calling me Unc when I was 15-year-old kids calling me Unc. I'm only
Today.
25 years old.
That's fucking hilarious.
I was like, all right,
Today,
bro.
yeah.
I understand.
Already.
I understand
Donovan
it
gets
now.
the most Unc allegations out of all of us.
I have been, I kind of, out of us three, have the most like old head kind of perspective. And so, but our fan base is kind of young. And so they already call us Unc.
That's crazy.
And Donovan's known for
We're
being
mid-20s. Mid-20s, I'm already Unc.
Donovan's also known for being the most like 2000s NBA nostalgia merchant ever.
Love the 2000s.
So-
Great time.
Yep.
Great episode for him. We got you in the house. Appreciate you going through.
Shout out to you.
That's the era, yo. That's the era.
Yeah.
2000s was the era. It's
Yes.
Great time for talent.
One of the most interesting things I want to talk about up top is you are now a full-time co-host of the Draymond Green podcast. How is that going? How are you enjoying that new era of media?
Oh man, it's great. I think working with somebody like Dre, you know, he's honest, he's charismatic, he knows the game, he's compelling, and you know, he speaks his truth. For me being on the show, it was like a great compliment for me because I get to kind of feed off his energy. and our personalities are very similar.
Yeah.
Our takes are very similar. We're very unapologetic, but there's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a lot of back and forth, you know, fun, a lot of dialogue. And then the guests, you know, our goal for the guests is to amplify them, to give them their flowers while they're there, to make them feel special, but also to make them real people, right? So if you got dunked on, or you crossed me up, you know, an episode with John Wall dunked on me on my birthday.
Yeah.
You know, we be having some good laughs on the show. So, you know, shout out to Draymond Green for, you know, bringing me on as a co-host. It's been going crazy since.
How'd you meet him, and how'd that like whole, oh bro, you should be on this show come about?
Yeah, so I like follow him. And then I DM'd him and I was like, yo, bro, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Draymond Green show. Like, I'd love to be a guest. And so, like, I just kept hitting him up on DM, on Twitter, on TikTok. And I started going to the Warrior games, and I was like, I had a sign one time, was like, yo, if you need a co-host,
Really?
I'm
Wow.
here. So, you know, just really getting it out the mud.
Yeah, shooting your shot.
Yeah, shooting my shot. And, you know, I got that one episode in the summertime, and from there, the rest was history.
Love to hear it. I know now this is your first season.
I'm
doing-
totally joking, bro.
I was like, yo, you got like me. I was like, wow. Damn, Dre, you like that? I thought it was supposed to be a brotherhood. You feel like it.
Listen, I wasn't trying to say it, but I was like, it sounds kind of
I was
thirsty.
like, damn, bro, you really getting it out the mud like a real fan.
What's crazy is I fully believe you. I was like, damn, respect. But
You never know when you're dealing with
Dre
B-Day.
Hollywood like that?
at least the media business is tough these days. There's only so many options. Even NBA players got to get out the mud.
I gotta reevaluate myself. Like, okay.
How did you feel that you entered this era doing it full time with him? And obviously you've done a lot of media in the past. You have a long history of outside of basketball stuff. But the first time in a while you've done a full podcast with him weekly. The biggest story in NBA history breaks. You have to react to the Luka Doncic trade, do the coverage of that. What was that like?
It was crazy because that never happened.
Ever?
Yeah.
It's never, ever happened. And so it was almost like an earthquake hit it was like an NBA earthquake.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, you're like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, what do you say? Like, what do you say? Because the trade was like, it was an incredible trade.
For one
both
side.
teams.
Really?
For both teams. Because you say your first wave of shock is holy shiznit. Luka got traded. Where did he get traded to? Luka is with the Lakers? What? And then it's like, who did he get traded for? He got traded for AD. And you're like, well, damn, how does that help the Lakers' chances of winning the championship?
Yeah.
Right? And you like, hold on, AD in Dallas with, man, it's just mind-boggling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just trying to, it's the most cookie cutter trade.
Mm-hmm.
It happened, but there's no layers to put on this.
Yeah.
Outside of being excited, seeing what they're gonna do. But the debate of who won the trade, who lost the trade, I think, it was just like an earthquake. It was shocking, but I think coming out of the trade, both teams will,
Be good.
can be very
Really?
happy with
That's
what
a
they
very
did.
unpopular take right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people, you look at that trade and it's like one team gets the 25-year-old, superstar, and then obviously like AD is AD, all NBA, caliber player, but he's 6 years older. And that's something that, like you said, you just never see. You never see somebody trade their young star for somebody who's aging like that. So I feel like right now, like Nico Harrison's out here hiring security. Like that's how bad people hate this trade.
I'm glad he has you in media putting out a good, he has an alternate take now. He has you out there saying, good job, Nico. Like, I'm glad that there's somebody out there that believes in him.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to trade somebody like Luka.
Yeah.
It's still mind-boggling why you would trade someone like Luka. But when you look at the team now, the way that they're made up with AD, do they miss Luka at all?
Probably won the playoffs.
Maybe.
But with AD, do you miss Luka? Are you more versatile? Do you have more 6'7", 6'8" guys? When you match up with Boston now, there's they can't just isolate and pick on one person.
Yeah.
And so, part of it in the finals was, we're going to pick on your
Luka.
your superhero. So if your superhero can't take the fight, the force, the battle, the picking on, right, then the whole is going to have a whole domino effect.
One less hole to poke at in the offense.
Yeah.
But the window is super short, though, with someone like AD. I'm someone on this platform who said, this trade, Anthony Davis is a top 10 player. He's been a top 10 forever, one of the greatest of all time, period. But you could win a championship with Anthony Davis, and in my mind, you still lose this trade. Why? Because the gap in the window for Luka Doncic and the amount of success that he has the opportunity to amass is different. Yeah. You could win 2 championships in a row. 3, maybe I'm a little bit dragging, but to me,
back to back. You got it.
What I'm saying?
Back to back, you got it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll give it to him.
Yeah, but yeah.
We're getting a lot of comments where people are like, how long you guys gonna talk about this trade? You guys make so many videos about it. And I'm glad you put it as an earthquake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep talking about it forever. It's the biggest trade I can imagine.
He's a Laker fan too. So
The people will tell me,
But he got the New York kid.
see, drip or drown.
Swag.
He will wear any team as long as it's fly.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay.
You got to put it on.
You got the fly meter.
Gotta do
on.
it. Listen, if Kith made a Lakers jacket, I promise you I'd have it day 1 too.
Fire, I gotta make you a Laker jacket. I'll make a Laker jacket for you.
Send it my way. But outside the Luka stuff, outside the media stuff you're doing, I want to talk a little bit about your career because you're one of the more underrated players of your generation. I feel like that's fair to say. And we obviously have a young audience, like we said. We call them crayon eaters. They are young. They're children. So a lot of people...
BD love the kids, by the way.
Yeah, shout out. I think a lot of people think about you, obviously, we believe, Clippers. They don't think a lot about your Hornets era. And I was going through all the things when we realized we were going to be talking to you. I didn't realize you led the league in three-point volume in 2004.
Damn.
You were very ahead of your time in that way.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like people overlook that part of your game?
I was shooting a lot of threes that year. We had a small team, and we played small ball. Me, Daryl Armstrong, David Wesley, and you had Steve Smith, Stacey Ogman, George Lynch, and we always played with McGlure at the 5. But at that time, we were becoming more versatile and trying to play a little small ball. And I would say for me, a lot of those threes were happening because we ran a lot of side pick and rolls. And in that era, you always get double. Like I would always get double team out the side pick and roll. So I would say probably 2 or 3 of those 3-pointers per game was probably when the shot clock was like 5, 4. And like you just got to throw it up. But that was fun because it gave me the opportunity to like be the man on the team. And because we, Jamal McGlure was a great inside force, but we didn't have, potent wing scorers. And so we had to like play fast. I think I led the league in steals that year as well. And so we just played fast. And for me, it was like I wasn't purposely trying to get up threes, but I was definitely, coming out. I had the opportunity to start the game with a heat check. Let me get these first 2 items. And back then, guards were like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to come off the pick and roll, shoot mid range. I'm like, nah, I'm pulling up for 30. See what happens.
You were the only point guard in that top 5 that year. You were next to Ray Allen, Peja, Tracy McGrady, obviously high volume shooting guards. I think number 6 was Gilbert Arenas, who was similar mold to you in that way. After that, a bunch of shooting guards, a bunch of small forwards. So you guys were definitely rare in that way. The interesting part to me is though, in that year, you shot almost 9 a game. You go forward 2 years later, you're still similar type player, similar age. It was cut in half. What do you feel like was different between those 2 situations that made you like shift to one other side of your scoring back so much?
Well, I think probably the team, because I feel like it was Golden State when I did. And so for Golden State, Nelly and I had a conversation, and he was like, yo, if I can get you the ball, free throw line extended or below the free throw line, I don't think there's anybody in the league that can stop you. And so that became where I would go to. And so for the Warriors, that's how we would finish games. Either we would finish on the pick and roll, try and get to the hole, find open shooters, or I just go post up and we play out the post. Because I could pass out the post. I used to be able to drop step dunk. I was like a baby Shaq. Because I used to post up a lot in Charlotte because Paul Silas would have me posting up. So that's what happened. I started to think about, if I can get below this free throw line, now I'm in this, I call it this Jordan circle, right? And now you're one dribble away, two dribbles away from being to the basket. I can get to my fadeaway, and I can be creative. Like the way I worked out is like I wanted to be creative in a tight window.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like doing double step backs to get all the way over there. I was playing like 1-on-2, 1-on-3, and I had to basically get a shot off, within the free throw line, right? The free throw line lane. And so it wasn't about creating space. It was like, how do you create different shot pockets to be able to.
Interesting. You named like at least 3, maybe you might have said 4 head coaches you played for during that time in those few first years of your career. How do you feel? Do you feel like that did more good or more bad for you when you're developing at that age, being used in all these different unique ways? Like, did that really make you get really versatile with the ways you approach, or do you think stability would have helped?
Definitely stability helps. Yeah. Shoot, like, because you have a great year, you come back, you got a new coach, and it's a whole new philosophy, and they may see you as what they want to see you as, not as the other coach. So, having different coaches sometimes is good, but a lot of times it's for a young guy. Luckily I had Paul Silas for my first 3 or 4 years. But for a young guy, you need that consistency. And then it's cool to have different coaches, in your life to add different elements to your game. But I would say, I took a little bit from each one. Paul Silas was just the foundation. Tim Floyd, he brought in Nate Tiny Archibald to like show me how to work pick and rolls and coming down. So I got a chance to work with a legend. And then Tim Floyd and I had a pack that I don't have to pick up full court, but I would always pick up 3/4 court. And if I didn't pick up 3/4 court, I would have to pick up right before half.
Wow.
And if I did that, I would lead the league in steals. Because every time somebody crossed half court, I would just let them. As soon as the ball bounced across the half court, I just attack the ball. And so you get turnovers, you get steals, because nobody, everybody's like, you cross half court thinking like, I'm about to run a play, and I jump on panic. Yeah. And so that was our pack. And then Nelly was really about, can I be a well-rounded player? Can I be the best pick-setting point guard in the league? Can I be the best finishing point guard in the league? Can I be the best post-up point guard in the league? Can I be the best passer? So it was those things. Sometimes coaches, they give you little elements to add to, your overall zeitgeist.
What was the most fun that you had, you specifically, in any of those areas?
I think each kind of opportunity is fun. Obviously, the year I shot 9 threes again, that was fun, bro. I was getting them up. And then the Golden State We Believe era was fun as well because it was a lot of pressure. Not a lot of pressure, and was relied on a lot. And so, I live for the big moments. I live for the big games. I live for playing against the top teams or the top players in the league because, my mentality was, okay, I want to see what they made of. Like, I want to be a witness and see what they got. But I'm also coming into this game to let you know that, it ain't easy. It ain't sweet over here. You know what I mean?
That makes some real Uck ball. I love it.
It sounds like it'd be pretty fun to average 25 and upset the number 1 seed and beat the MVP in the playoff run. That sounds like it'd be fun to me. So that makes sense.
Man, that was fun. That was fun. That was super fun.
So after you left Charlotte, like you said that whenever you left there, it was kind of like the end of your Tupac era.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like for you to be in your Tupac era, what does that look like?
I was just really like, like like I was angry. I had a lot of I was like emotionally
Angry at who?
like emotional turbulence. You know, I'm like the way I played. So like coming into the league, it was like I sat on the bench. Then my next year I started and I was dunking on everybody. Every chance I got to dunk. That's all I cared about. Like, oh, it's a center. I got to dunk. Like, I got to dunk on him.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't worried about the guards. I was more so worried, like, I hope the center helps. So I'm going to try and dunk on him. And it was like a killer mentality, right? And so when I say Pac, it was like I was only listening, you know, to Pac going to the games. I wasn't curating a playlist. I was just getting riled up. Like, yo, I am going to go into this game, and I got all the world of emotions going into it. But
you wore it in the mirror before the game.
Bro, I'm about to go crazy. I'm about to go crazy.
Yeah. And now that you look back on that era, now that you're in your Unk era, do you look back at that Tupac era and do you feel like you channeled that in like a chip on my shoulder, this can motivate me in a healthy way?
Yeah, for sure.
So you think it was a positive part of your career?
Yeah, I definitely think it was a positive part because, you know, for me, I'm a gym rat. I love to hoop. And I didn't, you know, I was a third pick, but I didn't start. I didn't start one game my rookie year.
But that was kind of common back then, right? For
top
picks.
You know, but
You knew that, but you're still pissed.
I'm mad to this day. I'm still mad to this day. Like I didn't get a chance to start my rookie year because I remember telling rest in peace Paul Silas. I was like, man, you know, if you would have gave me one start, homie, in my rookie year, coach, I'd have never sat on the bench. Like, and so that just always like, I wish I would have started that year.
I respect your decision. I fucking hate
like,
it.
You know, I had to get it out the mud. Like it was, I could be a number 3 bus.
Yeah,
I could be a bus easily. You know, not starting my rookie year. What's going to happen the second year? I was not for none of that. I did not make it to the league. I did not come from LA for them to try to label me as soft. I can't play. No, I got to change this whole mentality and get down. So my whole Tupac thing was like, I am coming to kill you. Whoa. That's all I can think. That's all I'm coming to kill. In this game, I'm coming to kill. That's it. You know what I mean?
Is there anybody around the league today that you see that you feel like you look at them right now and you see young you in that way with that mindset?
Who are the killers in the league today?
Who's today's Tupac? There's a low-hanging fruit answer we won't take. Outside of that.
I mean, you got a lot of killers in the league, right? You look at you know, one of my favorites is LaMelo Ball.
Indra, I didn't expect that. What do you see similarities there?
He plays and has a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And so basketball is basketball. And his creativity and his playground, street ball type of aura that he has.
He has that LA flair. Just say that.
You know what I mean? It's an LA flair. It's definitely an LA flair. Yeah. But it's also like a mental. It's like a high frequency. You have to have a high frequency and a high capacity of understanding the game, learning the game, and being able to activate to be able to paint like that.
Yeah. He's also a guy like in his situation, he has like the ultimate green light. You know, and so he can go out and do whatever.
He's the orchestrator.
Yeah.
I think Dame Lillard, you know, just thinking about somebody like in that mentality, like Dame Lillard is a killer. You know, he's waiting for that moment. He's waiting for the score to get like the closer the score, the more and more they get excited about. Ooh, like we could lose, but we're gonna win. It's what you know. It's what you want. You look at KD. He's one of those. Steph is one of those. Tyrese Maxey as a young dude coming up.
That's a good one.
One of those. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of kids with this killer mentality and kind of like a no holds barred type of confidence in the game.
There's a lot of, I feel like today's NBA, would have suited you a little bit more? Because like back then, point guards were more, supposed to be pass first, not seen as like lead scorers for teams. And now guards, you have the green light. You can be a scorer. Are there certain situations in certain like teams that you look at right now where you're like, man, like I wish I was playing for them, or I wish I was doing this?
Yeah, man. I haven't even signed my retirement papers.
Shit, we can make this happen.
I feel like I still got 1 or 2
you have a
years
10-day
if I can get it together and actually get a good 3 or 4 month run of not getting injured and being able to hoop. I'm like, shit. Maybe I'll try again. Like this, the era is so, and that's just a testament to the era, the style of play. You just itching for like, oh man, I wish I could just play 1 year, in this era. And I just think, for me, I was on the cusp, and through injuries, like the last 4 years or the last 5 years, which I didn't accomplish, could have been, kind of like that legacy
transition
approach. Yeah, but more a legacy approach, being able to like help a team, but also be more of a surprise, because what I'm looking at and what I see, I still don't. I see myself being super duper effective.
I want to stay on this topic a little bit and talk about other players that you played with in your time, and I want to talk about who you see them in today. So I'm going to name a past NBA player from the 2000s. You let me know who the modern version of that player is.
Got it.
Play style wise, mentality, whatever that means to you.
Yeah.
Let's start off with an easy one. Or not, actually, I don't know if it's easy. Let's start off with the big one. Tracy McGrady.
Ooh. I got a name immediately. Someone who has a bag. Someone who's just like really inspiring for the youth. For me personally, I would say someone like Paul George in his prime era. No?
Oh no.
Probably I think of Tracy
no,
McGrady. I think of like
really?
KD. I think of KD.
KD would probably be the best
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah, he's a little more like tough shot making than Paul George was.
Because T-Mac, man, you just couldn't guard T-Mac.
He's getting to that elbow every
He
time he
can
wants.
get to the L. He can get to any shot he want, and he go to the hole and dunk on you.
I got to introduce you to 2018 Paul George.
PG.
Yeah, I think Paul George is great, but no, I do. I just don't like when you think about a level like they took one. Paul George is a 2, so he's a shooting guard. T-Mac is a small forward or a tall shooting guard.
Yeah.
It's just a different bag.
Okay.
It's a way different bag.
It's hard to compare, right?
It's a way
He is
different
one-on-one.
bag. Now, Paul George make the game. I would say the reason why people liken Paul George to T-Mac is their demeanor of how they carry out.
Like the height and
It's
handle.
almost like how they paint.
The word we use now, Unc, aura.
The aura.
Different.
The same type of aura, right?
Yeah.
Like laid back, super skilled, look like it's easy,
It's nonchalant.
mid-range, can get to the shot, gun knobs, all the tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's KD. I think KD looks like when KD is on and he's scoring, he makes it look easier than everybody else.
Than you can ever imagine.
That's true.
What about Gilbert Arenas?
Modern day Gilbert Arenas.
There's a lot of Gilbert Arenas today. You can see a lot of them across the league.
Yeah.
Just in play style wise, the way people attack the court.
Score first point guards, right? Like you said,
modern
killers.
day Gilbert Arenas would be
Maybe like a Lillard. But he has a little different
Not
way
even.
slashes.
Who?
not even.
Is De'Aaron Fox a good one?
No, not even. And Gilbert Arenas is a 1-on-1, bro.
Okay.
Dang, okay.
Okay.
Gilbert Arenas is a 1-on-1, so it's hard to like.
Explain to the people how good and why Gilbert Arenas is a 1-on-1.
One, nobody can guard him.
Okay.
Oh, he finna get into
What-
his bag right now. Let's really listen up to it.
One of the quickest first steps in the league.
Okay.
One of the quickest off the dribble pull-ups in the league. The ability to get fouled.
That's a skill.
Right? To get to the line and get fouled. He's fast as hell. He's fast like a guard, like just as fast as any guard in the league. And he's fast with the ball. And he can stop on the dime. And he got broad shoulders.
That sounds like a nightmare.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to guard
And he
that.
can shoot.
Yeah.
Right? He can shoot. So, when you think about someone like Gil, maybe like it would have to be like a combination of like Jamal Murray. And the reason why I say Jamal Murray, because Jamal Murray got post skills, footwork, and he can operate in small. Like he's good below the free throw line. Too.
Yeah.
And he can shoot the three.
That's true.
Interesting. Okay.
But like Gil is like when Jamal Murray is rocking,
That's him all the time.
that's Gil all the time.
2020 playoff Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas.
Exactly.
That's Gil all the time. But like just a different aura. Like
Yeah.
a different kind of
Way different.
a different kind of
Yeah.
flow and a different
lot different.
type of way he paint. And so it's just, it's
Yeah.
like yes, similar to Jamal Murray, but more like damn, I'm trying to figure out like who is that dude that like feels like the way he plays defines a Gilbert Arenas, but it has to be like a shooting guard. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
Like who's that shooting guard
That
that
aggressiveness.
can get downhill, that can
D.
shoot
Mitch?
the three?
Mm.
Yes,
That's
I would
a
say
great
Donovan
one.
No,
Mitchell.
now,
Yeah.
demeanor-wise,
Jamal-
they're very different.
Jamal-
Personality-wise, extremely different.
Yeah.
But play-style-wise, the aggressiveness.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's a great
Yeah.
comp. Yeah, you're cooking
That's a
with
good
that one.
comp.
Okay. Let's do another quintessential 2000s Hooper, Joe Johnson.
Damn, bro, you mentioning dudes that's one of ones.
That's what I told you.
Like all these dudes are one of ones. There is no there's no ISO Joe in the league right now.
You gotta think about if he played him up today, he'd play a little differently. So who would he play like right now?
He a one of one. He
Yeah.
would play. Like,
You don't see a
Yeah,
little bit Tatum and Joe Johnson?
hell no. No, they two different players. They two different players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Joe Johnson,
What makes him like so hard to replicate? What's one-on-one about his bag?
The patience.
he's strong as hell.
Mm.
You're not stealing the ball from him,
The handle is tight.
right?
Kawhi?
And he had yes.
Yeah.
Kawhi.
Yeah.
Play style wise, approach to the
Yeah.
game, the
Yeah.
speed.
That's
They
a
want to
good
play.
one.
Could you play like at your own pace? You
Yeah.
you make
That's a
your moves.
good
You
one.
make your moves whenever
Two
you
in a
want.
row. Let's
Kawhi's patience, Joe Johnson's patience. I can get to that spot. I know I'm gonna get to that spot. You're not gonna stop me.
Yeah.
If you stop me, I can get you up off the ground and move accordingly.
They both got
So
those
it wasn't.
shoulders.
Yeah, it's the move, the counter, and then the move after the counter that Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson was incredibly hard to guard, bro.
When you're
And I used to like, why am I guarding him? No, for real, bro. Like I'm in the game, like, why? Come on, Joe Johnson. Like Mike Bibby is over here. Like I'm 6'3".
Yeah.
And then he put his arm on you. No, his arms are like, this big. He put his arm on you. Dude who dribble and then put his arm out. You're like, you're not going nowhere.
So that man can
It's
bench
over.
press a minivan. That does not need to be guarding.
yeah.
It's over.
That was my next question. Like when you are guarding these one-of-one type of guys that you know are unguardable, what is going through your head? What are you trying to make them do? Like how do you guard unguardable players?
Oh man, you just try to get there, and then you have to believe. You have to believe, like, yo, I'm gonna stop that. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm about to lock him up, and so you slide and you moving, and
So you really
I
have to be
remember
delusional.
playing-
Jab step, Joe Johnson bucket from the mid range.
yeah, we were playing with. I was the Clippers, and we were playing Atlanta, and we was winning, and ISO Joe got turned on, and usually when dudes get going. For some strange reason, I think I'm the defensive stopper.
Pull those shorts up.
Yeah.
It was just treating me, y'all. And I was like, damn. And he was shooting the fadeaway, and it was like, I was like right there to block it. It was just
Yeah.
It's just
Every
easy.
time.
Yeah.
every time.
You're like, damn, I am 6'3".
I'm still a little guy. Why am I over here?
All right, last name in this segment, Baron Davis,
Mm.
who's a modern comp. Now, I'll give you mine first. What you think about it? You said his name earlier. I thought about this a lot last night. 'Cause I knew I was gonna ask you. A little bit bouncier Jamal Murray. I feel like there's some similarities there. You mentioned the post game. You mentioned working below the free throw line. Obviously, 3-point volume. And he's deceptively bouncy. He doesn't use it a lot, but he can get up a little bit.
Yeah, but then, passing.
Just say it.
Like that was, huh?
Call yourself a one-on-one.
Oh, for sure. I'm like,
Saying.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I paint. You know what I mean? I
You do
paint.
this.
I know
You
how
do
to
this.
paint. Yeah, I know how to paint. It ain't one dimensional. It's not a dunk. It's not just a three. It's play defense. But I think from the most underrated thing about my game? Passing.
Yeah.
So better.
Of course, they don't give me like top 5 handles, which I don't understand. Like every time they mention people with top 5 handles in league all time, it's like, all right, well, how many of these people did I steal the ball from? Right? And how many of those people stole the ball from me? Nobody.
Nobody.
Andre Miller one time. Andre Miller.
Maybe a couple people. We'll
Andre Miller got me good.
Striker from the record.
It was like my second year in the league. He just ripped me right at. He stole the ball right at half court, and I never forget that.
Is there any other names though that come to your mind? Because I feel like I'm sure you're asked this a
Jason
lot.
Kidd stole the ball from me before. I tried to steal the ball from Jason Kidd when I was young, and he pushed me into the scores table. Hey, he was not trying to get that turnover. He was like, "Oh man, I stole the ball," and he went. Oh, I'm like, yo, what you know? You're like, man, no turnover.
Yo, he is protecting them stats. I
love how all these players you're mentioning that were like, he gave me a little bit of problems, strongest players in the league at their position. It's all the muscle heads.
Yeah,
That's funny.
So, since we're on that topic, who are the top 10 ball handlers of all time to you? Who has the top 10 handles in the NBA in history?
I would say you got Kyrie Irving,
Naturally.
Nice. Got to throw in.
Stephon Marbury.
Oh,
You said
Okay.
Steph. I did not think it was
Yeah.
with on Marbury. That
wow!
was
I
okay.
never heard anyone say that.
I like that. What about the other Steph?
Steph Curry
There we
got Steph Curry. You got to put him up there.
Yeah,
AI?
In no order. AI needs to be there.
AI is up there.
Yeah.
As far as handles, Tim Hardaway.
Naturally.
Oh, yeah. That's 5.
I tried to tell these people about Tim Hardaway's
He
crossover.
loves him Tim Hardaway crossover.
What do you love
Tim
about his
Hardaway,
crossover?
man.
I don't
It's so
get it.
it's so efficient. It's no wasted movements with Tim Hardaway's crossover. Can get you from anywhere.
Want to throw a little Jamal Crawford in there?
Yeah, I give JC Jamal Crawford. You got Jamal Crawford. Yeah, he got handles. He got moves.
Magic Johnson belong on the list.
No. Rod Strickland on that list. Like somebody that you're not gonna steal the ball from.
Yeah.
And if you see them coming at you, they got 5-10 moves for you.
Are we throwing Baron Davis on this list?
He deserves to be on this list.
Oh
of
yeah, I'm
course.
definitely on the list.
Yeah,
Like,
naturally.
yeah.
A Baron Davis list wouldn't be complete without Baron Davis.
I created the bop though. You know, I created the bop. Like,
What's the bop?
man, it's the bop. It's
Duh. You don't?
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Y'all
It's
bop
fine.
right now. Show me. Every person in this room bop right now. Show me.
it's hard. You gotta watch. It's like
That's what I've been saying.
Nick
I've
Van
been
Exel.
saying this.
I can't say I created. Nick Van
Okay.
Exel was one person, and that's another dude that I stole from. But he had a bop. He hopped. Bop.
It's like a rhythm
Bop.
to your dribble.
Bop. 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 You know, a lot of people go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like more of a dance.
That's exactly what we're trying to tell you. You don't understand.
Ah, okay, yeah. See, I wouldn't understand it for
You
sure.
know,
I'm not a
dudes
ball
be in
handler.
the gym and be doing this. That's not really a bop. It's
Yeah.
almost like they trying to get into it, but then you gotta have some dances.
It's like more of a boop than a bop.
Yeah. Boop. All right, am I missing one other person?
I lost track. What we got?
Wait,
I think
that's
we're at
9?
9. We had one more.
One more spot.
No Magic.
I mean, Pistol Pete.
oh,
There we go.
yeah.
Salute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pistol Pete.
Okay.
You gotta say Pistol Pete. And then I put honorable mention Jason Williams.
Oh yeah.
White
Always,
chocolate.
always.
How could
White
we? That's
chocolate.
disrespectful.
The comments are gonna be screaming for white chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
How do you feel? There's a lot of good NBA nicknames around the league. I feel like you played in like the prime of NBA nicknames.
Yeah.
2000s NBA nicknames went so much harder than today's.
That's crazy.
So I'm gonna name you some NBA nicknames from players that you played with or associated with or something of that sort. I want you to rate it from 1 to 10.
Okay.
First off, let's do a former teammate of yours, DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre 3000.
Who calls him that?
Who calls him that?
I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
Bro, nobody's ever called this man DeAndre 3000.
No.
They call him Bam. We call him Bam Bam. We call him Bam Bam. When he was a rookie, we used to call him. Remember from The Simpsons? I mean, y'all too young to watch. The Flintstones. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Flintstones. The kid name was Bam Bam, and he was like this super strong little kid. Wore a diaper. And he just Bam Bam. And that's what we called DeAndre Jordan Bam Bam because he was a young dude. He was hella strong, but he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He was just
He was just dunking.
destructive. He was no, it was destructive.
Now, does anybody use DeAndre 3000? No.
No.
Is it on Basketball Reference? So I'm gonna treat it as fact. Yes. 10 out of 10. It's a good nickname.
Hard.
No, that's
It's hard.
you like DeAndre 3000.
It's a cool. If my name was DeAndre, I would like to be called 3000 after that.
I concur.
I feel like it builds my street credit up. You let me know if I'm wrong, Unc.
I'm cool, nephew.
What about Monte Ellis, Mississippi Bullet?
Yeah, the bullet.
Oh, that's
Come on,
hard.
dude.
That's it.
The bullet,
9 out of 10?
Mississippi bullet. That's Monte Ellis, baby. Come on.
Did you actually call him that?
Yeah, we used to call him Bullet.
Okay.
Some people call him Bullet Loco. We used to call him Bullet. Like, yeah.
There's variations on it.
Mississippi
That's
Bullet.
hard. That's hard.
That's
solid,
hard.
solid 9 out of 10.
That's a 10.
Oh,
'Cause
solid
you
10
can
out of 10.
You can get the tattoo. Like, that's something you can get the tattoo
Yeah.
on. It's yours.
Yeah.
You know, it's, yeah.
That's
And you
okay.
got the Mississippi, you know, the sip. Come on, man.
Okay.
Top 10 nickname of all time, if you ask me, for sure.
What about Eric Gordon, the Hobbit? He confirmed this is real on JJ Redick's podcast.
Oh, no. You know who Marcus Camby, Eric Gordon played with me at the Clippers. He was our rookie. Marcus Camby gave him that name, the
Really?
Hobbit.
Why? He looked in the eyes and saw Hobbit.
I don't know.
You just saw him and called him
No,
Hobbit?
they did call him the Hobbit.
They
dude.
saw his feet in the locker room.
It just stuck. Yeah, it was, Marcus. Shout out to Marcus Camby. I think Marcus Camby called DeAndre Bam Bam too.
Wow.
Okay, so Marcus Camby, he's the one giving out nicknames.
Vets always give the nicknames to the rook. That's how you know, like, you on.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Baron Davis, B. Diddy?
Is that retired now?
I hope so.
Yeah, man. Hey, dog, the funny thing is,
See, the thing about the 2000s was
It's a
we
crazy
didn't know
time.
what we know now.
It's a crazy time.
well, it was Boom Dizzle first.
Okay.
So that's the original nickname.
Who
Boom,
gave you that nickname?
Boom Dizzle? I think my homeboy Jelani McCoy and Rayon.
Okay.
But it was named after a Reebok shoe.
Okay.
The Boom Dizzle. So it was Boom Dizzle, and then it was Too Easy, and then obviously BD, and then the B Diddy came when I was bopping dude. So I was out there dancing, and then, like the whole B Diddy shit. Like I was out there shaking people, and so that was a whole. So that was a whole part of like the bop, like having game.
Facts.
So that kind of like
Just
it was
take that.
So do you
like
want to
that
take
kind of happened here in Golden State. It was like B Diddy and the family. They was playing off of like the whole P Diddy shit, but that's canceled now. I'm back to Boom Dizzle. Or call me Bart. Just call me Bart or Oatmeal. I got a name.
oatmeal?
I'm going to stick to Unc. I don't know what these references mean. I'm going to stick
Bart
to Unc.
Oatmeal is my alias, so that's my artist name. So my rap producer, you know, go to Bart.Oatmeal.
Okay.
We'll put it in the record
Get
books.
a bowl.
Yeah.
We're taking this
what I
time
mean?
to formally retire B. Diddy. Don't ever use it
Yeah,
again.
that's
Don't
out-
even
that's
think about
out.
commenting it. Don't even think about commenting it if you're still here on the YouTube video.
I ain't
Don't
gonna
even do it.
respond. You know, people still they were like, "Yo, Diddy." I'd be like, "Yo, chill." You know? Not right now, yo. Not right now.
I'll defend your name. Don't worry. I got
No,
burners
no.
on burners on burners.
Well, that's all the time we got with you today. Got to get you on to your next thing at a busy All-Star weekend.
I appreciate
We appreciate
you
you
guys,
coming through, man. It was a great conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are great, man. Keep it up.
Thank you, man.
Look
Appreciate
forward
it.
to it. All right.
All right, Unc.
Love, nephew. All right, nephew. The deep three is crazy.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
We're joined here by another very special guest. We have Miami Heat forward Jaime Jaquez Jr. How you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. Happy to be here.
Appreciate you coming through.
What's going on?
What's your weekend been like? You know, here at All-Star Weekend, I know you just finished the Rising Stars game last night. I'm sure you're doing 1,000 media circuits today. How's it been?
It's been hectic, but it's also been a lot of fun. Yesterday, obviously, had the Rising Stars game. We did some, had a little pre-practice media circuit, played with some kids with the junior NBA. It's a lot, but it ends up being a lot of fun at the end of it, getting to meet a lot of new people. And just try to embrace it all.
What's the vibe like at the Rising Stars game? You know, you hear like the All-Star game and like Olympics and stuff. Whenever you get all these players together, people talk about how there's like this culture of peers and everyone like gets to link up. What's it like in the Rising Stars level when it's people in your draft class and you're still so early in your career and you kind of came in with this class of people and you're seeing them do their thing? What's it like when you like link up with all them again?
Oh, it's great, man. It's great. You get to like catch up with them during, midway point in the season, just check in, see how everyone's doing. But yeah, I think it brings like a real dynamic of like a brotherhood within the NBA. The NBPA also does a great job of like helping us all connect and stick together. There's only like 450 of us, so try to keep that brotherhood going and keep that camaraderie high.
Yeah, across the league, like who are some of the guys on other teams that you've had an opportunity to catch up with this weekend, maybe that you haven't talked to him throughout the season or something like that?
Anthony Black, he was one guy. We were on the same team for the Rising Stars game, so we were chatting a lot. And he plays in Orlando, and a lot of us guys, we were talking about our golf game in the off season.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of the topics of conversation. Everyone has their thing they like to do in the off season, and golf's a real big one. So I think we might try to figure out some things to do in Florida, golf tournaments and stuff like that.
You good at golf? That's your thing?
I wouldn't say I'm good at golf, but I know how to play. I can play.
You just like, because I know a lot of people like they get into the NBA, and then obviously like golf is a big like side hobby for a lot of people. Did you get into it when you got to the league, or was it something that you were doing in college and before?
No, I was playing in college and before. I learned how to play when I was really little. Got away from it, was doing other things, obviously other sports. And then COVID hit, and that's when I really started to pick it back up. Not a lot to do, golf courses, a lot of social distancing.
Yeah.
So that's when I started picking it back up and trying to get better, and got fitted for some clubs and started taking it a little more seriously. But I mean, I just like to go out there and have fun.
Outside of golf, when you're in college, what else was there for you to do outside of like practice, study, film, classes, and all that for you?
Not much.
Study.
Not much. Study. No, I mean, playing a lot of video games. I think, video games is great. Way to like just connect with your boys.
What games though?
I was a big Apex Legends guy.
Okay.
Fortnite back in the day, back in college. Right now I'm playing Marvel's Rivals a lot.
You were true to this, really.
I was about to ask you that. What's your character? What's your main?
My main character, I like Magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Magic, she's fire.
Every time we see you do media or anybody talks about you in your pre-draft process coming to the league as Miami Heat, I feel like the first thing that's talked about is when the Heat selected you, you were so clearly a Heat culture guy. Everyone talks about that you were a glove in hand fit. That's why the team went out and made sure they got you. And a lot is made of Heat culture, right? It's on the jerseys now. It's talked about a lot. It's like the defining part of the Heat. What does that look like in reality? Like, what do you see when you got there in these first 2 years that the team does differently from other teams that, makes it so the culture is a real thing you feel?
Yeah, well, I don't really know what other teams do, so
True.
this is kind of all I know. But I'll tell you this, it's definitely, a family-oriented organization. It really feels like a real big family. And I think that's kind of, what it is the culture is all about. This is a family, and, the team, you got to do what's best for the team and the family. And that's really what, I feel is one of the biggest factors when you talk about the Heat culture and, obviously coming to work every day, hard work, play hard, all that stuff. But I think just, the real family atmosphere.
Requires a lot of buy-in.
Yeah, a lot of buy-in for sure.
So was there a lot of buy-in last year when you were a rookie when it comes to the rookie tasks that you're dealt with?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't really have anything crazy. Like my biggest job was I was on towel duty after the game. So after every game, I had to go get the towels. Some of my vets would, send me on errand runs and try to get things for them. But other than that, or like carry their bag, but it wasn't anything too crazy.
Oh, I thought it was going to be so intense. Like I was watching some of your past interviews and some of the things that you experienced. I heard you say that you listened to, or you heard your head coach Spo listening to Zig Ziglar.
Oh, Zig Ziglar.
Ziglar, sorry.
Yeah.
What is that?
I was listening to that before this interview.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to run through a wall right now.
It's like some hypnotizing stuff. When you listen to that. It's weird. But
that's his culture, getting like hypnotized and ready to run through a wall.
Yeah, I mean, you guys gotta. There's only one way to describe it, or you gotta just listen to it. Really, I can't describe it for you. You gotta give it a go.
You need some form of hypnotization to go through the intensity of being a Miami Heat player. That makes sense.
Something like that.
Speaking of Spoelstra, I feel like he's commonly respected now in recent years as being, if not the best coach in the NBA, one of the best. But I feel like I don't know if the NBA fans quite understand what makes him so good, because he's obviously really good at adjustments, making the most of what he has, and doing all these things. What do you think makes him so unique from other coaches you've seen, and why he's so great so consistently?
He's a very understanding coach, and I think just the way he goes about his game plans, they're very thorough, and they're very like, you got to do this, and then we'll get the win. And I think his game planning is just off the charts. And I think, obviously, you guys aren't there in our meetings, pregame, stuff like that. But it's so thorough and thought out, all the game plans, and he takes so much time and effort into making something that we can all understand, that we can all implement.
It seems like he has like the best understanding of the teams he's going against so many other coaches. Like, I know you weren't there at that time, but a few years ago they played the Celtics, and obviously it was really, really widely talked about that they had like the best game plan anybody's ever had against Jaylen Brown, and they really blitzed him and really exposed his handle at the time before it got fully developed and made him struggle in that way with the turnovers. Is that something you see, that the way he understands every other team in the league is just like next level?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he always talks about other teams and how we can use their strategy for us, and we can take things. It really is a copycat league. Like one team figures out something that works, and everyone else kind of just follows suit. And I think he's got a way of taking that a step further. Yeah.
Were you prepared for the amount of different defenses you had to play under Spo when you came in out of college? Because I feel like that's something he's also known for, is you guys do a lot of different looks defensively.
I mean, we keep you guys on your toes. I don't want to say how we do that, but
you don't gotta explain the zones and all the crazy stuff.
It's a part of it is just a chaos and just a mentality. I think is the biggest thing. It's not what you run; it's how you run it. Yeah, and whether that's defense, offense, and I think that's one of the things that gets emphasized the most is like you just gotta run it like hard and in a way where the other team doesn't even know what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up mentality, because when you talk about like the Miami Heat and that, their entire mentality, a lot of that seems to stem from top down, from Pat Riley. What are some of the things that you've seen from Pat Riley, some of the kind of experiences that you've had with him that like make him look different than, kind of what everybody else in the league does?
What was your welcome to Pat Riley moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some crazy stories about him. I ain't gonna lie. So I met him at a time where he's, I think, mellowed out a lot. But we've had a lot of great conversations. He's just, really, really down to earth and really cares about us players, and wants to see us really succeed. I'm trying to think of like a specific instance. Yeah. I don't know. We've had conversations. He's just an overall great man.
Yeah. Makes sense. You talk about all these things, all these hardworking things. Starts with Pat Riley, goes to Spoelstra. I feel like Jimmy Butler obviously also was so clearly a fit in there. What other players across the roster do you see that kind of embody that same mindset that makes them fit in the same way that Jimmy Butler obviously did?
I think Bam's one of those guys. Obviously Tyler. Our two captains for sure.
I don't think people will think about, like, obviously great players. People don't on the surface associate them in that same way. What do you think is misunderstood about the personalities that makes them such a good fit there?
I think they're just work ethic. I mean, these are two guys that, work so hard day in and day out. They're always in the gym early, always leaving late. I think they're just their work ethic is the thing that really sticks out.
Since you've been there, what's been the most like intense practice that you've been a part of, where I just left you like scratching your head? What did I just experience?
Man, I think it was.
I see those wheels turning.
Drama. Which
one do I pick?
Yeah, no, I remember. It was probably one practice. I think we lost a couple games, and Coach Spo ended up ripping me. This is when Jimmy was hurt, and I forgot what I did. I messed up one of the plays that we were running in practice, and then he just ripped me. He's like when Jimmy, he's like, you better enjoy it now. When Jimmy gets back, guys, just getting back on the bench, playing 15 minutes. I was like, oh man,
he's that like very overt about it. That's hilarious.
I mean, that was just one of those instances. And then after, he was like, you know, he's like came up to me. He's like, I didn't meet. I was like, oh, you're good. I was like, you're good, man. You're good. Trust me.
But in your head, were you like, yeah, you did. You meant that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot crazier coaches than Spo. I mean,
Really?
my college coach, yeah, he was out of control. But so it's nothing really new for me. I mean, we have a great relationship, so you know, it's
That's
all
good.
good.
Obviously, the Jimmy stuff was one of the most talked about things of your team this year. That's all over now. I want to hear about the moment that was captured on camera. I'm sure you saw it on Twitter when you found out about the trade. What was that like when you, being an employee of an NBA team, find out the status of other employees via fans behind you?
Yeah, no, that was a first for me. It was, I mean, we were just sitting on the bench and some, you know, fan yells in the crowd. He's like, "Oh yeah, we won that trade. We won that trade."
That's crazy.
I was like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, Jimmy to the Warriors, Jimmy to the Warriors. And I'm just like, what? I was like, am I in that? No.
That's what everybody said. You see your face, you're like, who
got traded?
Who else?
So nah, but yeah, that was a definitely first time experience for me. And then, you know, we got the confirmation from some of the other guys, and, you know, at halftime in the game, you know, you be like, all right, I know you guys probably already saw, and like we gotta focus on the game. But yeah, it was a weird moment for sure.
I bet.
I guess this is the first, or really like the second time that you guys have had, or you personally experienced like a teammate being traded. What like goes through your mind actually seeing someone who you've built somewhat of a relationship with just like gone like that?
Especially with Jimmy, because it was such a big deal. Was there almost a sense of relief that like we can move on past this whole thing now and see who we got with the new team?
Yeah. I mean, we obviously knew he didn't want to be there. You know, so to be able to, you know, move on from that and, you know, have a new start, you know, obviously he needed a new start. You know, we needed a new start. I think at that point it became a mutual thing. So, you know, when we got, you know, obviously Davion, Kyle Wiggs, you know, just ready to embrace them with open arms, make them feel welcome, and kind of just have a reset and restart and, you know, try to get everybody here on the same page to try to make something happen.
Was there a point where Jimmy being moved felt kind of real? Because obviously, like, people can come out and they can say, I want to be traded, but, you know, ultimately until the team actually makes that move, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Was there a point where you kind of started to feel like, okay, yeah, like Jimmy's probably not going to be here. We're probably going to have some other people in the building?
Yeah, definitely.
And when was that?
I mean, you know, it was, I mean, I think, you know, we all kind of knew it was, you know, about that time. You know, the time was ticking, and, you know, this isn't where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, he very much made that known. So, I mean, once, you know, we all knew we knew it was only a matter of time at that point before a change was going to be made. And, you know, just, you know, wishing him the best, and, you know, I hope that he's, you know, happy here in San Francisco and, you know, doing his things.
What's your first impression of Davion Mitchell? Because I feel like as soon as that happened, all I thought about was, that's a Miami Heat guard. That makes so much sense to me.
What makes you think that though? Like what screams like, yeah, Miami Heat guard.
You look at him and you think slapping the ground, pulling up his shorts, ready to play some defense,
defender,
getting those
all that
passing
stuff.
lanes.
Strong for no reason.
His
Dumb
nickname is
strong.
Off Night. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, he's incredible. I mean, I've obviously played against him, and, you know, his tenacity and his the way that he just always is into the ball and always is on go. That's something that's really a talent, you know, to just always be on go, and it's a skill. So, you know, he's going to be great, and really excited to, you know, continue the rest of the year with him.
Yeah.
and I think the most pressing question about all that is like, what is the group chat etiquette? Like, did you guys have to remove Jimmy from the group chat? Did you have to make a new group chat without Jimmy Butler? Like, how do you operate that within the team?
He just left, man. He just left.
He left. Okay.
Wait, you can leave?
Yeah, you can leave a group chat.
Oh wow.
How old are you?
I guess I'm a granny on this, bro. I had no idea.
You could definitely leave
Come
group
on.
chats.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So he left. You guys didn't kick him out or anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to even think. Yeah,
he addressed it before it became an issue. I understand.
Yeah, okay.
One of the other things that obviously is very commonly thought about with you early in your career, dunk contest last year, dunk contest in college. You're known as being dunking is part of your personality, part of what you're known for in the NBA. What was that experience like with the dunk contest last year?
man, that was a long day.
Yeah,
yeah. It was. I was not prepared for what I was getting myself into when I signed up for the dunk
In
contest.
terms of what? Like, what would you think versus what happened?
Well, I didn't know that they were gonna send a dunk coach out and like help.
Oh.
Like I had like on an off day, like I'd have to go in and like try to practice these dunks to try to
In front of the dunk coach?
I didn't
Well,
know
he would
that.
help me. He was like there to help me, like try to think of dunks and be creative.
Interesting.
And,
So every participant gets a dunk coach.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh,
that.
y'all
Okay.
are on just dunk PEDs. You got
Yeah.
outside help?
Yeah, they send a guy, and he comes and helps us basically, try to think of dunks, and he's like he used to be a pro dunker, so he would give us tips and stuff on how to do things. But I just wasn't expecting that, and we probably started off the day early, just like this, doing interviews and stuff. And then you're on your feet all day, and then you got to go jump at the very end.
That makes sense. I never thought about
Yeah.
that. No wonder John Collins kicked that plane. He was up since 6 a.m. doing interviews. That makes total sense. I want to play a quick little game with you on the topic
Okay.
of dunking. Obviously, with it being something that you're known for, I want to name 2 NBA players. You tell me who's the better dunker.
Okay.
You can either talk about in-game or if they were in a dunk contest, whatever you think matters. Let's start with an interesting one. Anthony Edwards or John Morant?
That's tough.
Wow.
You gotta go.
came
You got
off
you gotta
hot,
go
man.
in.
I was about to say you came off. That's like probably the 2 best dunkers in my opinion in the league right now.
Yeah. And it's pretty safe to say that with all the posters.
I think, as far as posters go, I mean, I don't know. Ja has some pretty.
He's
I'm gonna
almost
go with
literally
Ja.
killed people on the court.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Ja
Yeah.
only because he's just so much smaller.
it's more impressive.
I think it's not that and it's not impressive, but I just think at his size, like to be able to do what he does and the amount of posters and how far he takes off from. Like I was there at that game against the Lakers when he went up with 2 hands and blocked it at the very.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that
was crazy.
There's a certain audacity level you got to respect with
Yeah,
Ja.
and then he dunked over Wemby too. It's like
Hey, it didn't
And
count,
then it didn't count, right?
It
No,
counts.
didn't count.
It
Didn't count.
counts. Everyone's
I
so
mean,
happy.
it counts
Strike it
for
from
the
the
dunk.
record.
It may not count for the 2 points, but it counts for the for the dunk.
Nah.
And the
We gonna see it in the
poster.
highlights for sure.
You're gonna see it on the highlights.
I will
For
hold down
rest-
Wemby FC. It doesn't count. Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook?
I'm gonna go with Russell Westbrook.
Why is that?
Really.
I feel like it's a hot debate people talk about.
I think it's a hot debate as well, and I definitely understand. But I think Russ. I think he was like I think D Rose, very springy, just straight up. Whereas Russell, he like can take off like an airplane.
Yes.
jump and glide through the air, and
His power on dunks is
power
crazy.
and everything.
Yeah.
I think Russ.
He's got the LeBron trait where he just really tomahawks the
Yeah.
shit out of it, so it feels really intense. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an easy one for you. Steph Curry or Steve Nash?
I don't even think I've ever seen Steve Nash dunk, but I have seen Steph Curry dunk. So I'll go with Steph.
Hometown love,
I don't know if Steve Nash has seen Steve Nash dunk. Now I think about it.
I think he's had like 1 or 2 attempts, and I found that out like a couple of minutes ago. It got blocked by Tim Duncan.
It sounds like Steph Curry has to win.
Yeah.
Has Steph Curry gone blocked by Tim Duncan?
I
don't
mean,
think so.
he's missed a lot of dunks.
Has Steph Curry
Never
tried
got-
to dunk on Tim Duncan is like
That's audacity.
Yeah.
We gotta find that clip. I'm gonna play it in the edit. You guys can see why did Steve Nash try to dunk on Tim Duncan?
That's a different type of audacity.
What the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta find that.
Okay. Another part, speaking of the dunk contest, part of your dunk that was known is you had the Mexican flag implemented and you really brought in that part of your culture. How does that feel to be such a clear point of inspiration for people being, I think right now, the only Mexican player in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
That's like, that has to be something that feels really cool. I'm sure you get told a lot by other people, by kids, that like, that's very cool to see someone that looks like me.
Yeah.
What's that element of your career been like?
It's been great. Just having that ability and, having that platform to really grow the sport of basketball in different areas and different parts of the world. I think that for me is the biggest thing. It's the game I love and the game that I want to share with the rest of the world. And if kids are able to see me and, feel inspired and feel like they want to pick up a basketball and do it, I think that's what it's really all about.
Yeah.
And
Who was like that for you growing up?
Kobe Bryant was like that for me.
I thought it was your dad.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like,
I heard he was like that. I heard he was like that.
yeah, no, he was great. I remember going to
He's
the
not
pickup
Kobe.
games, going to the men's league games and stuff like that. And obviously, he was a guy who, put the ball in my hands and took me to the park and helped me fall in love with the game. But, when it comes to like, I guess, inspiration of somebody who you really looked up to in the basketball world. I mean, Kobe Bryant was really my guy.
Now that you're in the league, like something that a lot of players talk about is like fit and situation and stuff like that. And obviously everybody plays your role. Who are some of the players that you look at to help you like fit in your role, and then also trying to like expand out of your role and show people that like you can do a whole bunch of other things? Who are some of those people that you look at to grow your game?
You mean like, well, I'm trying to understand the question. Like on my team, like trying to help me, or
no, just like around the league, people you've watched before.
Like guys that
who you draw inspiration from and try to model certain parts of your game you want to improve after.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think DeMar DeRozan is one guy that I really admire and love playing against him every time I get the chance. And then I grew up watching him, and I was a huge fan, just the way that he was able to dissect defenses and with his footwork and his ability in the mid post. And his clutch gene and athleticism. So he's one of those guys for me.
Nice.
Yeah, and so you grew up watching DeMar. I'm sure coming in and guarding him was quite difficult when you had to do it for the first time. Who are some other players that were extremely difficult for you to guard that people probably wouldn't imagine would be on that list? Like not superstars, but low-key
Kelly
guys.
Olynyk.
Interesting. Why Kelly?
Kelly gave you problems?
Kelly gave me problems, man. My rookie year, we were in Utah, and I had a guard. I don't know what the heck. For whatever reason, his like slow step would just got me. I was like, man, what the hell? And so that was one guy like my rookie year. That
He has the deceptive
really,
ball handling.
Yeah, deceptive ball handling, and it's like he's really skilled, man. And he was giving me problems.
I can see like the PTSD you're remembering it.
Yeah.
Fuck, that drop step was crazy.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
He's one that really stuck out for me. I'm trying to think of anybody else.
I'm sure DeMar. What was that like?
Yeah, DeMar, obvious. I mean, but he's a more obvious one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fries everyone.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was a home game. I was guarding him, and like I at the what was it? The elbow, right elbow or left elbow. I'm all up in him. He does like a turnaround, shoots it. I think I found him. They didn't even call it. He's on the floor, and it's a go-ahead bucket. To put them up 2 points late game, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like I basically fouled you, and what can I do?
So far in your career, what's been your favorite play that you made yourself?
My favorite play that I've made myself this year
or last year?
I say this year. It was against Orlando in Orlando. I had a chase down block, and then ran back on the other end to hit a go ahead three. Or it was a pretty big three late game, and we ended up winning that game. And to me, that was like a pivotal moment. I think that was probably my favorite play this year.
You also mentioned DeMar. That was a go ahead bucket he scored on you. So on that topic, what's your least favorite play? What's the one that happened where you're like, gonna remember that one? Didn't like that.
Ooh, I try to forget about those. So let me try to
pull it back in the recess.
I'll delete those plays for you.
Yeah. Let me think. One play.
Saw John Morant flying through the sky.
John Morant flying from the sky. Ooh, I think I remember one because I messed up and it caused someone else to get dunked on.
Oh man!
Yeah. So it was.
Who'd you set up?
I set up Duncan. It was against Atlanta. I was guarding Jalen Johnson on the inbound, and I was shading against Trey, and Trey was trying to go into the backcourt, and I shaded too much.
Yeah.
And so I think it was maybe who was it? Clint Capella threw it in, give and go.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan was the low man and tried to go over, and then then I was like, Duncan, that's my bad. That's not you. That's me.
That's hilarious.
And now Duncan is on the highlight tape forever.
It was my fault. So yeah, that's on me.
And there's certain guys that you look at next to a guy like Jalen Johnson, and you see him getting dunked on. You're like, damn, that's tough.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were shading too much, and that's kind of how that happened. I bet most fans would watch that and just think, damn, you got dunked on?
Yeah.
Because most people don't have a good understanding of NBA defense.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the most misunderstood part that fans don't think about?
I think one of the things is guys don't really, guys aren't really trying on defense or the effort. First of all, it's so hard to play defense in the NBA today. That's one of the things that I always say. Just the way the game is called.
Yeah.
From the refs and stuff like that. It's just the way it's just called. So it just makes it a lot more difficult for defenders to, really be physical and without getting foul calls.
What are the biggest like annoyances or like differences that you have when it comes to how it's called? What do you think has like shifted?
I really think like the physicality. So like, for example, if a guy's attacking the rim, like you can't really like cut him off and like, push him out the way. You kind of have to like, he kind of has to hit you and you have to just take it. You can't just like, there's no bump back or there's no like meet at the point and see, whoever wins. It's more like, he can come at you and you just have to take it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think fans also like they feel like it's 1985 and like put your best defender on the best offensive players, but the best man win. And
Yeah.
like, just running blanket drop coverage all game.
Yeah.
But there's so much that goes into defense, especially for a team like the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
So many coverages that I don't think most fans even like understand the intention of the defense. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, when it comes to like coming off screens, chasing over, shooting the gap, forcing them into a switch to a peel, or, just getting through, the big man staying or disappearing. Yeah. So there's so many things that, go into the defense that, might go over, the casual fan's head. And especially if, you haven't played basketball, it can be hard to understand.
What are the most difficult type of players or like offenses that are like to guard?
The teams who can, who move the ball. I think ball movement is, the best recipe for a great offense, ball movement, and teams who can shoot the ball and also put it on the floor and drive. So, some teams are like, they're not really driving, they're just shooting. Some teams are just driving and they're not shooting. And the teams who, do both. Yeah. Those are the toughest ones.
What's it been like defending the Grizzlies this year? They have a very different offense. They run the lowest volume of pick and rolls in the league. It's a lot of attacking closeouts, a lot of driving from all 5 positions.
Yeah, don't think I even played them.
Oh, you didn't play them this year?
No, I think we got them on the next leg.
Oh,
but I was
get ready.
there when we played them.
Get ready for unorthodox shit. Get ready to defend salty Aldama closeout attacks.
Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of the conversation online about people saying like that the league should, make certain changes to the game to either, bring physicality back or make it harder to score, like moving out the 3-point line, getting rid of corner threes? Is that something that you've seen online?
Well, I find it very ironic how, the fans of today's NBA, it's almost 9, 7, 8 years ago, when Steph Curry, changed the entire game and everybody loved it. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, shooting threes. Everyone loves the threes. And now, that's kind of where the game has gone. Now everyone doesn't like it. It was kind of weird to me how everyone just kind of switched when you guys all seemed to like it before, but now,
people won't complain.
People, and I also think, when it comes to like viewership and stuff like that, it's kind of skewed. I think
True.
The social media, like people just consume the games differently now. They consume it on Twitter, on YouTube. They'll watch
Commissioner Jaime in the cut. Wow. Okay.
I'm just, I just try to, be objective and try to look at everything. And, it's also harder to, find the channels and stuff like that. But as far as like the actual gameplay, if you guys like really watch the game, like, there's so many things that go on, and it's like, there are guys that still shoot mid range, and there are guys who, still drive to the basket. Like, I don't think it's as drastic as people make it out to be.
That's you. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I play nothing like DeMontis Sabonis.
I don't know. I think, people probably gotta look more into
Agreed.
What is really going on. And if you guys really watch the game, I mean, I think there's, trust me, I know I've been in so many games that I'm like, that was a great game. Like, it was close back and forth. There's obviously going to be some blowouts, but I mean, that's how the NBA's always been.
Yeah, if you're playing 82 games in a season, somebody's going to get blown out.
Yeah, it's just statistics.
Yeah. Well, we only got a little bit of time left with you. Got to get you out of here pretty soon to your next media day gig. Before we finish, I want to do one more game.
Okay.
People have commonly acknowledge the fact that I am one of the only Mexican podcasters.
Oh, wow.
This is history right here.
Okay.
So I think what we should do is we should make the all-time NBA Latino team.
Okay.
Point guard through center. We can't do all Mexican players because that's hard. But we can do Latino in general. Point guard through center.
Okay.
Who do you think should be the point guard on the team?
Let me think.
Again.
Ricky Rubio.
Ricky Rubio. Okay. We're going Spaniard.
Okay.
Shooting
that
guard.
counts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, it counts.
Shooting guard. I'm thinking Manu Ginobili.
Okay.
Does that seem like a good pick?
Manu
Manu
seems
Ginobili.
he's one of the greatest of all time. That's a fantastic pick.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick.
Argentina
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
That counts.
Argentina counts.
Okay. Small forward. I think we have to go Jaime Jaquez.
I was gonna put myself.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna put
Respect,
myself.
respect.
There's not a ton of options for the position. You win.
Yeah.
do we got?
Thanks.
What are the options for the 4?
Who do you want to go power forward? We'll ask you first.
I'm trying to think. Horacio Lamas, right? He was a 4.
I think so.
Okay.
Was he a 4 or was he a 5? He was a 5. Okay,
Five?
he was a 5.
Okay.
All right.
I have Al Horford written down.
We can play
Al
for
Horford.
Oh my
Do you wanna go
god.
Dominican
Al
Republic?
Horford. Wow.
The Dominican works for me. Yeah.
Or we can
Shout
go
out-
Leandro Barbosa if you want to add him to on the smaller list and push everybody down. We have a few options to go with.
Yeah. Does Pau Gasol count also?
Does Pau Gasol count?
Yeah. He's Spaniard.
Is Spanish? Does that count?
Does Spain count? Spain's Europe. I don't know if we
That's Latin America.
Oh, we're having a whole new conversation right
that's
now.
what we're having
Yeah.
geopolitical.
let's
I mean, if we have Ricky Rubio, then Pau counts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Ricky
Yeah.
Rubio counts.
Yeah.
So we're having a real, I guess, ethnic questions.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting.
Do I count?
Wait, do I count?
Okay.
Wait, does it matter?
Okay, let's go Al Horford at power forward.
Okay.
Center. I have written down Brazilian legend Nene.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
Nene.
That's
That's
my
a
guy.
good one. I like that
Is there
one.
anybody else?
I think that's 5, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
five.
five.
Yeah, that's 5. We could bring Powell off the bench. You know what I'm saying? We can do that.
I love
Back
that.
Al Horford.
Powell and Mark off the bench.
Or yeah, the Spaniards don't count. Then Campazzo, the Argentinian.
Okay, Campazzo.
Oh
point
yeah,
guard.
he's disgusting.
Dimer.
He's
Listen, shout out to
fired.
Spaniards. You're not getting on the Latino list.
Stay over there. Stay over there.
We gotta, yeah.
You got your own list. You got plenty of good players. But all right, man. That's all the time I got with you today.
All right,
Appreciate
cool.
you coming through.
Thank you, man.
Hope you had a good time.
Appreciate it.
Have a good rest of your day.
man.
Good luck, bro.
Thank you. Gotcha again. Once again, we took it to a whole nother level. And we put in another interview, right? Honestly, like I think that the Jaime Jaquez one, that one was really fun too. Like I knew he was gonna be a chill guy, but I don't know. It was chill, but it was also fun. And it was slightly nerdy as well. Didn't think that we were gonna be talking like some X's and O's with Jaime Jaquez, but that was fun.
Yeah. That's the one that the most, by the end of the conversation, we guys started talking about like the state of the NBA and how fans like view NBA defense and the misconceptions and everything. And as soon as you started cooking with that, I got that text that was like, you guys got 2 minutes, wrap it up. And I was like, fuck, man. If we had a full hour with Jaime, we would have got so in the weeds. It'd been such a good basketball conversation.
Facts.
Just like we said last week, I cannot wait until we have more opportunities to do interviews that are longer than 30 minutes. It's going to be great.
The future is coming. The future is roaming, and I sense nothing but better stuff for TD3.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. 2 great conversations today. That wraps up everything we have for All-Star Weekend. No more surprises coming. Those are the 4 interviews we got. How do you guys feel now looking back at the whole experience of doing these 4 interviews?
I felt good. I think ultimately, and like I always had it in the back of my mind, especially because guys are like younger and like I guess closer to our age now than like whenever we were growing up. But it's so clear and obvious just how online all of the players are, how much of like all the discourse, all the conversation around like the league, the team themselves. Like if anybody ever says, oh, I don't pay attention to any of that, they are liars. Everybody sees everything. So it was very cool that we could like have those conversations about stuff that people are talking about in real time because you know that they're consuming the same stuff in real time.
What's also cooler to me is seeing our evolution and just growth when it comes to how we have these conversations with these players. Like, if you go back in time and watch I think our very first interviews technically was the
Combine.
NBA draft combine stuff, and that was just like a completely different. It was such a hard task because we had like 5-7 minutes with each guy, and this time we get to be a little bit more comfortable, 20, 30, 40 minutes with some of these guys as well. And like, it's so interesting watching us build that skill of just like actually having real conversation and like pacing ourselves in between ourselves when it comes to these conversations and making sure we can get the most out of the guests while also having them like comfortable and shit too.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing I'm most interested in right now is us just getting better and better at that because I'm watching these back, editing them. I'm like, this is like, you can see we're so much better now than the combine, like you said. I won't say who the player was, but at the combine, there was one that went so poorly that I cut it from the whole combine thing. So we talked to like 9 players. I think there's 8 in that episode because one, we did such a bad job and the player just did not feel like talking to us that it went so poorly. I just didn't even put it out there. And it was a lottery pick. I'll say that. That would never happen today. You can tell that we're so much better.
You're messy. You're messy.
He's so messy.
He wants to say the name so bad.
No, I don't. I definitely don't want to say that.
It definitely was a teachable moment. You know?
And now I'm to say we're way better than that now.
Yeah.
And I'm also feel ways we're going to get a lot better. We're still not that great at it. So I'm just definitely excited to keep getting better and better.
But understand, we're in the gym. We're putting up shots, right? We're waking up at 5 o'clock. We're going to any high school gym. We're getting up shots. If we're on the road, it does not matter, right? We're out here on the road grinding. 5 interviews a day, all summer. You don't understand.
That's funny. That's actually how it felt at All-Star Weekend. We were just grinding.
Oh, no, for sure.
Person after person cycling through. It was hectic as hell.
Yeah. Not for the week, I'll say that.
But that's the end of the All-Star Weekend era of this season. It's time to move on today to talk about all the biggest happenings of this week. You know, on these episodes where we have interviews, it's going to be a little bit more chill afterwards. I have 6 news stories for us to talk about today. 6 of the biggest headlines that I'm thinking about. I think we should start with something that is near and dear to Donovan's heart. Jayson Tatum discourse.
I live
Donovan's
for this.
favorite thing to talk about.
I live for this.
Jayson Tatum was asked if he feels appreciated based on how fans talk about him, how media talks about him, just the general, way he's been talked about in his career. He said, honestly, no. If you took the name and the face away from all my accomplishments and you're just like, this is what this player A accomplished at 26, people would talk about me a whole lot differently. This has led to a lot of conversation about this, right? People talking about whether or not Jayson Tatum's gotten the credit he deserves. Mo, how do you feel? Because we know how Donovan feels.
Jayson Tatum is 6'9", played for Duke, high school star, McDonald's All-American, NBA champion. He's also an Olympian. Like his personal life, he has a beautiful child in fucking Deuce and shit like that who has his whole thing going on too. Like,
okay. Good father.
I don't know.
Beautiful child.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know when it comes to credit, I don't understand like what it is that he's necessarily looking for. It's obvious that he's online and he's seen just a couple months ago the Brandon Jennings of the world call him like the softest superstar in this era or whatever, and he fired back at him or whatever. I see that. I understand it. I see where he's coming from in terms of like people don't like glaze him or people aren't on his case and putting him as like the face in the NBA because in my mind, he's literally not. He's not better than any of these guys, the Shays of the world, the Lucas of the world, the Giannis's and shit, Nikola Jokic's of the world. I see the respect that he wants, but also see like, bro, you're just not there just yet. He could be, but he's just not there yet.
And that's his problem. That's his problem. He wants to be above Shea and Luka. Like I think like
he never. He wants to be above them. I wouldn't use that verbiage. I wouldn't put that in his mouth.
Fine. But like we talk about Jokic and we talk about Giannis in a certain class because they've helped their teams win championships, right? Like they've elevated themselves and they have been consistently at the top of the league. Jayson Tatum is also in that class. And so like a lot of times when we were talking about last year, the player rankings, it's like, okay, you have your top 3, you have Jokic, Giannis, Luka, and then you kind of have a tier 2. Some people, right, and even me right now, like I personally think that Shea is better than Tatum right now. But like if you have the resume that Jayson Tatum has, you've done it basically since the moment you came into the league. You were a very integral part of your team's success. You just won a championship. You've had a good Game 7 in playoff history. You've had a couple playoff moments. Like they're really like when you go on paper, there isn't a lot that he has left to check off. However,
there we go. Here it is.
However, like you know what I'm saying? Like this is where it comes in, and like this is where you have kind of like the quote unquote eye test jump in, and you're like, I see everything that you've done. It's just not matching up eye to eye, and it's not matching up with what I'm seeing and how I'm taking it.
He said, yes, you've accomplished everything we could possibly want from you, but I don't think the vibes match. I think it wasn't impressive. I'm with Jayson Tatum.
That's
think
not,
he's
no,
right.
no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's not impressive.
I know, I'm being facetious. I know you're just saying it's not to the level of being a top 3 player. He isn't quite as good, so we don't care that necessarily the accomplishments are on paper when we don't feel like you're just simply as good as the guys that you want to be compared to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I also fully understand Jayson Tatum, and I'm with him. He does not get the credit he deserves. Like you said, his quote exactly was, if you look at my accomplishments on paper at 26 and you didn't have my name next to it, people would feel a lot differently. That to me is exactly true. Not only does he have the team success, right, that him having the championship now to really shut that up, the fact that he was from an immediate young age been so successful and never stopped succeeding and was so successful so early that when he was like 23 and he hadn't won a finals yet, we were like, see, he's not like that. And he was 23. Like we had the clock accelerated so fast for him because the standards are so high. And I think people apply those standards, but don't give him the credit that comes with that, right? Like he's treated like a superstar in terms of what he needs to do to get the credit, but not treated as a superstar as far as adoration goes.
Yeah, he really is different. Like we're having this conversation now, and I'm like, maybe he is the anomaly. you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hate that nickname so much.
You know, like
oh my
maybe
God.
that's actually true because he is right. You take away his name and you just show like a blind resume. You look at that and you're like, oh wow, this has to be one of like the best players of all time. And I think that also the fact that like he's playing for the Celtics as well, and the Celtics have kind of they are one of the most historic franchises in the league. They have a Larry Bird, they have a Paul Pierce, they have guys who have played his position and won a championship before. Like there is a certain standard that he has to live up, and honestly has lived up to. I'm not gonna say that he hasn't, but like you're just in that line. You know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of doing what you're supposed to do whenever you get drafted 3rd overall to that franchise with those expectations. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of people, like he would have to do so much more to exceed expectations and be like, wow, he's actually better than Luka.
People treat him like he's Jaylen Brown. Like he's averaging 23 points a game, just like being a secondary guy on this team full of great players, and he's not the driving force behind why they win. He's just like, plays his part, but like they'd win just without him or whatever. And I don't know why we act like this guy doesn't have 3 first-team All-NBAs and didn't average 30 in a season. Like, for all this hoopla about him not being as good as the guys above him, which is true, he's like the 4th best player in the world. And those 3 guys above him, or 5th, yeah, maybe 5th, because I forgot about, I forgot Luka.
Yeah.
So, he's the 5th best player in the world, and the 4 guys above him are like demigods, so that's fine. But he's not super far off. Like, he gets treated like he doesn't have like the raw production that like you need. He averaged 30 while being an elite defender and took his team to the finals. Like, I think he's done some shit.
I think more so when it comes to Tatum and his displeased with how he's just viewed. I think that more so has to do also with this how being an NBA fan is and how most conversations are handled. It's an ultra like negative space. When it comes to every single, no one is happy with anything. People say the All-Star game sucks. Oh, we shoot too many threes. Oh, everyone plays alike. Like, there's not a lot of positive things that the community can say about so many things when it comes to basketball and shit. And when it comes to these players also too, like literally every single top player gets shitted on to a degree. People are out here saying like Shay's a free throw merchant and he plays unethical basketball, whatever the hell that means and shit. They're finding every single, which is just not true also, but they're finding so many ways to like tear down the goddamn game. When it comes to Jokic, people tried so hard to deny his greatness so many years ago until he like officially became like a top 12, 13 player, however way you want to rank him. People used to grill him and be like, yeah, his defense fucking ass. Look at this blubber boy, blah, blah. When it comes to the Luka thing, like people tried to crown him as MVP super early into his career. And now we got the weight conditioning stuff and all that. Like every single player, fucking Giannis, bro, used to be, people call him run and dunk man. Like it happens to every single NBA player. To LeBron, it happened to him too. So someone like Jayson Tatum is not immune to that type of criticism in this landscape whatsoever.
And that's what Joe, and that's what Joe
That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I meant in the beginning, where he gets that criticism, like he is one of the best players in the world, but doesn't get the love when things go right the other way to match it. He just gets the negative part and doesn't get the adoration whenever he just does what everybody says he can't do.
Yeah,
Also, wait, real quick. I will say to your point about Shea and unethical hoops. I love Shea. It was hilarious seeing post pictures of him taking free throws in the All-Star game. I'm not. That's the one time where I was like, oh dang, like they actually got him. But I think like
I'm not laughing.
With whatever. with everything else, the Tatum stuff is also interesting because it's not like there hasn't been a balance of both. You know, like it's not like there hasn't been bad moments for Jayson Tatum. Like he didn't like in the 22 finals, he didn't play well, and I think we can all be honest that he didn't have a great finals. Now, what I drew the line in 22 was like, I'm not going to sit up here and say like, oh, he's a choker. He can't do this. He can't do that. You had a bad series against one of the best defensive teams in the league. It's going to happen. Like, you're young, and I'm not going to have that be the end all be all. So now I do think like that's probably where people have taken a poor series and have pushed it forward in terms of like the discourse. And then also some of the series that he's had, at least like the game 7, he has 51 points in game 7, most ever. It's unfair for him in that situation because the thing that we remember about that series is like, oh yeah, the Sixers were up 3-2 in that series, and Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid and James Harden and like these legendary chokers, they choked it away more than Jayson Tatum won it in game 7 type. And that's the part that's unfair to him. But like, if you go back, there's just things that stick out a little bit more from a lot of those runs where like, for me, I think like one of the best moments for Jayson Tatum in terms of playoff history is game 6 against Milwaukee. They're down 3-2 and he scores 46 on the road to force it to a game 7. Like that is Jayson Tatum's quote unquote like crowning achievement, the game that everybody would point to you and say, you are that superstar. You are that guy. Like he's shown it before, but then it just sucks because they've played into May and June so often that now whenever everybody's watching like the conference finals and the finals, that's whenever they fail. So it just like that stuff it's a lot more amplified.
Yeah. TLDR. For some reason, he's taken for granted. He's fair to think this, but I guess the line is a little iffy because we don't think he's a top 3 player in the world. So I guess the answer is how much more credit does he deserve than what he gets? I don't know, but end of the day, I understand why he feels this way compared to his peers.
What more do you want from me?
I mean, I feel like every NBA player and every NBA star throughout history like feels like this way to a degree. I could even pull back a name like James Harden. I think I saw your tweet the other day, Isaac, which is like inspiring me to say this. Like, yo, he was genuinely a fucking goon back then. And seeing him put up 36 or whatever it is night per night and have him put up 28 on a random night, that's a bad night for him. That's ridiculous to say.
I hate that Gen Z has ruined the word goon for
That's
me.
what I'm saying. I was about to say.
Wait, what were you guys thinking about?
They changed the definition of goon.
Wait, enlighten me. I'm like behind.
No.
Next
conversation.
Nah.
Mo is a gooner. Next
what is that? Sure, I am a goon.
No, shifting off of Jayson Tatum, let's do our weekly check-in on the main characters of the NBA, the Warriors and the Lakers. These two teams are obviously
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Bro, it's fun. Fuck no. Oh, wait. Should we maybe?
No.
We talk about that on stream. The Lakers beat the Nuggets. Obviously, a very great win. Well, it's been talked about a lot. They had an amazing game plan to stop the Denver Nuggets offense. They executed to perfection. They beat them. Luka had his first big game in the Lakers uniform after starting off pretty rusty. And on the other side, the Warriors don't lose games anymore after adding Jimmy Butler. How are you guys feeling about the vibes around these two teams after they made these drastic additions?
Man, oh man. It's like when this first addition for the Warriors, I'm going to start off with them. When this happened for the Warriors initially, I was like, okay, like, I understand they're probably not going to be able to like threaten the entire NBA whatsoever. They're not going to win this shit. This team's not built for a championship. And as time goes on, I feel so much better about them. Now, yes, I will stop us right here. Their schedule has been pretty weak. They faced like not the most talented teams. They faced the Bucks without Giannis, I believe, and all that. Went ahead and went against the Chicago Bulls a couple times too. But when it comes to what they've been able to do on the court, their team has been fantastic. And the Jimmy Butler effect, surprise, surprise, one great player makes everyone look so much better. From the Steph Currys of the world, the Pods of the world, in all categories, bro. So I'm raising the bar on the Warriors when it comes to my belief in them and my stock in them.
Oh, same. I don't even care about this week's schedule. Obviously, you take the almost undefeated record with a grain of salt because of that. I'm not even paying attention to that. I'm just paying attention to how it looks in the specific parts of the game that they struggled with before. For years, this team has been towards the bottom or literally at the bottom of free throw rate. And their fans cry all day long on Twitter about how Steph has no whistle, the league hates us, we never get our free throws, yada, yada. Truth of the matter is they have talent that fucking sucked at drawing free throws. And in this time since they got Jimmy Butler, they've been close to the top in free throw rate because Jimmy Butler is a magnet to the free throw line, just like he always has been. That adds a new dimension to their offense. The cutting with Jimmy has been fantastic. The defense we were worried about because Andrew Wiggins was such a big part of their point of attack defense, and Jimmy's old, so we didn't know how much he could replicate that in like a play-by-play basis. Turns out it doesn't matter because he is a genius level defender, and putting him next to Draymond Green, giving you two supercomputers defensively to diagnose the defense is goddamn clamps. Everything about this team to me feels so much better on top of Steph Curry playing better now with Jimmy Butler, drawing enough attention to let Steph Curry get his game off a little more. That, we talked a lot about how this team sucked, and Warriors fans didn't like it. Now, they didn't enjoy our discourse about the team. And on Project 94 the other day, I said that I think the Warriors are now a top 5 team in the West. And that was met with comments from Warriors fans being like, the switch up is crazy, stay on that side, all this dumb bullshit.
Stupid.
I'm like, you're an idiot. This team is tangibly different.
You can't change your mind? What the fuck?
I not even changed my mind. All year, I said, this team sucks. I think they should trade for Jimmy Butler and they won't suck. We campaigned for them to trade for Jimmy Butler for months, and they were like, don't give up your future for another 35-year-old. And we're like, bro, he's going to make you a lot better. He is Jimmy Butler. And what do you know? It's gone exactly as we said it would. I feel very comfortable picking them to maybe win a first-round series now. I wouldn't, if I'm seeing a team, if I'm like the Grizzlies or the Rockets, I would
Shiver
be
me
horrified.
timbers. I will be scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the fans for saying stay on that side. I understand. As a fan, you have to come up with demons to fight, right? Like you can't, because you're not on the court every single night playing with the team, right? Like you can't directly impact, but how you can show your impact, you can let all the haters know it was us against the world, right? you have to do it. You have to create some obstacle to overcome so that the final destination feels better. So for the fans, keep doing that. I understand that.
You have to
Keep
be
being irrational.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so funny though, because I have to understand, but like the world won. It was you against the world, and the world won. They were right. You sucked and needed to trade for somebody. And like the team agreed after saying they wouldn't. They folded
Guess what?
and they went and traded for him.
You hurt their feelings. You're on that side now. That's what I'm saying.
You're on that side now.
You're on that side.
It's a permanent op no matter what.
It's okay. Going into next year too. I think that the Warriors, I'm with you guys. And we had like early on this season, we did our player rankings, and I still had Steph Curry really, really high. And you guys are like, I don't know, he's kind of falling off. Like they're asking him to do a lot. He's not, stepping up to the level in which they need him to. Which,
oh my God, he's gonna tell us to stay on that side.
No, it was just
he's gonna tell us to stay on that side. That's what it is.
It was an unfair level to ask him to, because you got him playing with nobody who can dribble the ball 4 times in a row. And like,
First of all, we ranked him like 11. We didn't say he fell off.
Yeah.
No, you guys did say again, stay on that side.
Stay on that side.
Stay over there. Because you weren't ready. But that's the piece that Jimmy Butler coming into this team has shown the most of, like, oh my goodness, when there is somebody else who can do a hezzy, and not even a hezzy, a simple crossover, who knows how to dribble the ball and knows where to go. And you cannot put all of your defense on Steph Curry and ask him to drop 30 points every night from taking 33 footers. This team moves a lot better. The offense looks so much better. And you have somebody else who can do something with the ball. Like you said, these are 2 old guys. You can't ask Jimmy Butler to play the same way that he did when he was 28. You can't ask Steph Curry to play the same way that he did when he was 29, 30, even 2 years ago, right? You have to evolve your offense. And putting these 2 old men together, that this is what happens. The old men just always outsmart you, and whenever they have a little bit of juice left in their legs, they can do some stuff. So I feel very good about the Warriors right now.
Yeah, they just fit really well. Like there was a good amount of people that said Jimmy Butler wouldn't make the Warriors that much better and wasn't worth making a deal for. You know, we've talked at length about the
That might have been me.
Yeah, bozo, idiots. But it's just crazy. Like Jimmy Butler's so good. Like to not think he would make them better at all. Like I think you said,
I didn't say that.
You were a little bit less confident than I was that like Jimmy's going to be a great fit. You were like, I'm still not going to take him too seriously, which is fine. But some people were like, he is straight up not worth trading Andrew Wiggins for. We do not want to trade for another old man. Have you seen him in Miami? He's playing like shit. Blah blah blah. Like, what the fuck were y'all talking about? Like, he's so good. It's so obvious that he would impact the game in all these ways that just makes everybody around him better.
So before, heavy on that, Isaac. So before this Jimmy Butler trade, the Warriors were 23rd in the league in free throw attempts. And now they've jumped all the way to 7th over the last 7 games or 8 games that he's played.
Motherfuckers getting iPads are coming out with advanced analytics.
You know
I love
it. You know what I'm saying? I just noticed. Isaac doesn't have his iPad on. It's because I got it. I got it today. Come get it back in blood if you want it. Okay, back to it. Yeah, so before the Jimmy Butler trade, again,
you have multiple numbers
there were
for us?
20. Yes, come get it back in blood. Isaac,
That's
I told
crazy.
you. Come get it back in blood. You want it? Come get it.
He's
Come
got those
kill
glasses
me.
on like he's in court.
I actually got blue light glasses right next to me too. If you really want to get into it, if you're into that, I can be into it too. But they're 27th in fucking scoring in the paint before the Jimmy Butler trade, and now over the last 7 games, they're 16th. That's so much better from what they were, bro. Fucking pods over the last 14 games, and also
shout out him. Shout out him.
He's been hooping. He looks so much better. I think throughout the first 30 games of the year, he was averaging like 8 points, shooting like 40% from the field. He's a completely different player now. He's so useful and so valuable, and he's back to being that normal pods that we've seen. Even Moses Moody, he's been given a lot more opportunity over the last. During the first 30, 40 games of the year, he was receiving like 10, 11 minutes per game, and then things got ramped up a little bit as injuries happened or whatever. But specifically during this Jimmy Butler time period, he's been averaging like 13 points, shooting like 40, 38% from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
He's been
that's just Steve
valuable.
Kerr not hating him anymore. Steve Kerr is just finally giving him like run. Like everybody in the world besides Steve Kerr was like, I think Moses Moody should play more, and finally he agrees.
Yeah, exactly. And seeing all this happen, it's like I see Jimmy Butler. He's a great player and he does great things, but he's not even at his like best form yet either. His 3-point shooting numbers right now are atrocious. I think maybe those days are behind him. I don't fucking know, but he's so valuable and versatile and just like the simple archetype of player that he is and how aggressive he is makes the world of a change.
The part that excites me is Jonathan Kuminga coming back, because I've obviously been vocal over the season that I don't think Kuminga is the answer that Warriors fans want him to be, because before the Jimmy Butler trade, they were viewing him as like, this is going to be our next star leap creator, the guy that's going to take the pressure off of Steph Curry and like be the number 2 for him, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that is insanely generous to think that Jonathan Kuminga will take that kind of leap with the ball in his hands. I just don't think that's his game and never will be. What I do think is he can be a fantastic play finisher, fantastic cutter, running in transition. He can hit spot up threes. He's been shooting pretty well this year. Him off of Jimmy Butler moves me so much more than him having any type of like expectation of being a creator. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler is a fantastic guy at setting up shots for others. And I think now you have him, Draymond, Steph to really like start the fires of the offense. Kuminga as a finisher off of one more really good creator. I think we're in for a really good stretch once he comes back healthy.
Yeah. This is really good. This is really interesting because now they actually are dangerous in the Western Conference. And listen, they've been very, very successful. We'll see what the rest of the season looks like. There is kind of a path for them to get to the 6th seed. If they get to the 6th seed and they end up playing like Memphis in the first round,
I'm picking them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There's like the hope that you have for Golden State now to make a deep playoff run is so much higher. The ceiling is so much higher. And you obviously understand the playoffs are all about matchups. So again, you get to that 6, you play a team like Memphis, you see what happens in the next round in 2-3. But like, it wouldn't be crazy if we looked up and Golden State is in the conference finals. Like grand scheme of things, yes. To go from a team that was out of the play-in to trading for Jimmy Butler, and then now you're in the Western Conference Finals. Like, that's crazy. But just seeing them in their current situation right now, it's not wild.
Dude,
to
do you
say
know what
this
it
team
feels
can
like?
do that?
I'm not going there yet, conference finals, but they definitely have a chance. Like, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Before that would have been crazy impossible. I think the Thunder, the Lakers, and the Nuggets should feel good. Everybody else, be afraid, because I think the Warriors might be like the team right after that tier.
Yeah, the Warriors are definitely knocking on that door. And this is why I goddamn love the NBA trade deadline so much, because last year, the team that was in similar range to the Warriors, they weren't this bad. But in terms of like hierarchy, was the Dallas Mavericks, and then they completely shifted their team, traded for the Daniel Gaffords of the world, traded for the PJ Washingtons of the world, and just became a whole lot much bigger, and they found like their advantages and shit. And seeing the Warriors, and also the fucking it's the iPad, bro. Isaac again, come get it back in blood, bitch.
I got 64 action points with that.
He's really an iPad. He's really an iPad kid. Like, he has it back. He has it in his hands now. And he's like, oh my goodness, my mind is expanded.
My processing speeds has updated. But yeah,
that's
literally.
a good comparison, though. People might say we're overreacting and like, oh, it's only a few games. They're blah 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 blah. You know, that could be the case. They could go on a week stretch now where we're like, okay, maybe it wasn't real, whatever. Maybe. But like you said, with the Mavs, there's precedent for you can make moves that are big enough that make you just enough better in just enough areas that while you're not a completely new team, it makes you enough better that you're winning more games in the aggregate. It makes a pretty big difference in your playoff hopes. And Jimmy Butler is a much bigger deal than PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. Salute to them. He is a much better player, even at this stage of his career. So that is the perfect comparison. I think this can have just as much of an impact. Thanks. Now, I don't think they're making the finals because the other team we're going to talk about is still better than them. But they're in that conversation now. They're not soft.
Yeah. If Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors during the offseason, like, I think I would feel obviously a little bit way different about this team, because it's like I think they would be probably 3-4 seed in the Western Conference. But right now, because of how much little time they have, I don't think they're as much as a threat. I will agree with you compared to the Lakers, but they're knocking on the goddamn. I think my camera just died. Not died. It just overheated. What the fuck?
I'm leaving this in. He's gonna restart his camera. We'll be back in a second. Now, for the other team we're talking about in this section, the Lakers. How are you guys feeling about them? You know, the Warriors are back up. We mentioned in that convo just now that we still feel a little bit better about the Lakers, who I said a few days ago, played the Nuggets and won them in what felt like a statement game. They came back a couple days ago and played the Dallas Mavericks and beat them in what was a hard-fought game against a very undermanned team. So they won the game. They did what they should, but the Dallas Mavericks defense made them sweat. How are you guys feeling about them after these two games?
I mean, I still feel very confident in them that they are the fourth best team in the conference.
Conference?
Actually, third. I'll go third.
Conference?
I'll go third. Yeah. It's because it's OKC and it's Denver, and then it's the Lakers. And I think everybody else has some flaws that they're gonna have to prove otherwise that like they can overcome. And also there's just nobody else in the conference that gets the benefit of the doubt the way that LeBron and Luka combined are going to get. So I like the Lakers. The Mavericks game, honestly, and you could have told me anything happened in that game, and I would have believed it just because the emotions were so high. It was a weird game. AD's not being there either. Like, it was, anything could have happened. I would have thrown it out, but it was a good sign that also Luka came out, had a triple-double, and is doing all the Luka stuff.
Some Warriors fans were like, they barely beat this team we blew out a few days ago. You trying to tell me this is a better team? That game to me was a lot more about the Mavericks just being an amazingly coached defensive team. Yeah. They were in their fucking bag. The defense was amazing, and they switched a lot, and it really gave the Lakers problems on how to basically attack a really, really disciplined switching defense that is going to do a lot of switch and peels and like not let you create advantages as easy as someone like the Nuggets would. And I think the Lakers have to, learn from that and like make adjustments, but they're fine going forward. They still won a game where their offense wasn't clicking, which is a good sign. And you mentioned that they're third to you. I don't feel like I'm that much of a homer for saying I think they're better than the Nuggets.
I don't think you are genuinely. Like, I hate that we are continuously having this talk about the Lakers, like you, Donovan, like everyone else, but they are so unavoidable because they just keep on getting better and better and better as time goes on, bro. With this win versus the Nuggets, I agree with you. I think it's felt like a statement game because you've seen Luka Doncic put up the classic 30-point triple-double, blah, blah. But also we saw like different, but also like similar defensive looks and tactics that they've used against the Denver Nuggets, who, of course, are a major problem in the Western Conference. And to see them have somewhat of an answer and were able to somewhat like neutralize someone like Nikola Jokic gives me more hope in them and more faith in them. And through like the actual glaring holes in the roster, aka Jackson Hayes existing on this roster, them being able to figure shit out.
See. That's what I want to talk about.
Let's go ahead.
You mentioned what you just said isn't crazy. I understand why you said it. So I'm not here to say what you just said is dumb or anything. You said the glaring holes they have, Jackson Hayes existing on the roster. That was the most talked about part after the trades, right? Was that this team obviously has a big ceiling of LeBron and Luka and Austin Reeves and everything, but there's no center depth. The front court sucks. Their defense is going to be horrible, right? They traded Anthony Davis while already being a bad defense. Now they're going to be a horrible defense. That's kind of been the sentiment that people are holding on to. I am still waiting for this bad defense that we keep hearing about, this mythical, horrible defense to come about, because I have not seen it yet. This motherfucker's camera. Oh, he's back. Okay. It cut off for a second.
Yeah, dude.
He's tweaking.
There is no bad defense in sight. They've been a fantastic defense since January 1st, even before the AD trade, and they've carried it on. Jackson Hayes, I did not want him to be the starting center on my team's roster for clear reasons. He's been good. He has not been a problem at all. Their small ball defensive units where they have Rui and DFS on the court together next to the three ball handlers has been fantastic too.
Yeah.
They are straight up just not this terrible defense people want them to be. And granted, there's probably going to be some matchups where Luka specifically gets attacked. He has been good in the interior using his size. The rebounding has been outrageous. He's solid rotating under the rim. He's Swiss cheese on the perimeter, right? You can attack a closeout of his and you're going to get by him. That'll probably be a problem in the playoffs and specific matchups. I know how to expose it. But like, on a consistent game-by-game basis, especially in the regular season, they just have not shown us a single bit of them being a bad defensive team.
And you know what it is? Shout out to Jackson Hayes. Like, I just don't have much buying him at all. Like, I don't want to rely on someone like Jackson Hayes, but I will be willing to rely on someone like a LeBron James who looks like he's fucking 30 years old again. He's fucking rejuvenated and has all like this bounce again. And he's genuinely like, the defense that he's been playing since Luka's been acquired, even a little before that too, has been
way
fantastic. It's night and day. And then Dorian Finney-Smith Jr., like, again, like I don't know why, but I feel like I forget sometimes that he's a part of this roster, that he was traded for this season. But he's like legitimately an actual anchor for this Los Angeles Lakers team. I think I was looking at let me pull up my iPad again, you know, my new password and shit. Dorian Finney-Smith Jr. has a 102.
I don't think he's a junior.
Defensive.
He's not Dennis Smith.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why I keep on talking about Dennis Smith, bro. Dorian Finney-Smith has a defensive rating of 102 when he's on the court. When he's off, the Lakers have a defensive rating of 108. That is seismic.
He's fantastic. And Rui Hachimura has played really well. I thought that might be a problem after they get Luka, that he might not be the best fit. He's playing out of his mind offensively and doing really good defensive work. And yeah, in the beginning of the season, I talked a lot about how I've come to terms with the fact that LeBron James is not a top 10 player anymore. And that was why I wanted to trade Anthony Davis and really blow it up, because I was like, if he's not top 10, you're cooked, right? The main basis for why I said that was defensively, he was atrocious to start the year. He's been legitimately really, really good as of late. Like, JJ Redick said, if you watch closely over the last 15, 20 games, LeBron's playing at all defense level. That's a bit dramatic. I wouldn't go that far because all defense is hard to make, but he's been well above average. He's trying really hard. All the talk about there's only one ball, LeBron can't play off ball, he's not going to fit with Luka. Dumbest shit in the world. He's been fantastic off ball, deferring to Luka. He looks like not having to do quite as much offensively has helped him a lot. He looks rejuvenated there. Could put more effort on the defensive end. Zero parts of the LeBron James Luka experience have been an issue, I think, in terms of them coexisting on either side of the ball.
Yeah, I think anytime that you say, oh, there's only one ball and like LeBron's on the team, it's kind of a dumb point. Like that's something that's legitimately something that we were talking about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like when he first got with D Wade, that was probably the only acceptable time to be like, oh, how's it gonna work? You have these two, alpha stars, whatever. He figured out how to play with Dwayne Wade. He figured out how to play with Kyrie Irving. Even as Anthony Davis he never fully took the keys in that way. But as the Lakers tried to empower Anthony Davis, LeBron was okay with that as well. Like at every single turn, LeBron has been great off ball. So that's one. Two, Isaac, I don't think you are crazy if you believe that the Lakers are better than the Nuggets right now. However, I still am going to, however,
will be for the playoffs.
Again, still don't think that you are crazy. I disagree with you. Don't think that you're crazy. But because I disagree with you, I am going to call you a homer.
Fair enough. But no, I think I think the Lakers can beat them in a one-on-one matchup. That I feel good about just because of who has advantages between those two specific teams. I can understand if you feel better about the Nuggets against a lot of other teams, because I think we saw in that game some stuff that obviously it's only one game. Don't want to overreact and like make Nuggets fans think that's like cooked. They stand no chance of beating the Lakers. That's not true.
Yeah.
But I think we saw that the Nuggets specific defensive game plan of playing aggressive on pick and rolls and having Jokic trap almost every time so he doesn't have to play drop coverage. That is absolutely Swiss cheese against the Lakers because they have the necessary passers to just kill you, picking apart that overly aggressive defense. Not every team has that. So I think the Nuggets will have an easier time against teams that don't have Luka Doncic, right? So I can understand if you feel better about them from that point. I think the Nuggets probably have the bad defense that the people think Lakers fans do.
Dive into that.
They're the ones that really don't have a defensive ceiling, I think. They really have to rely on outshooting you offensively, which you know for a fact they can. They have the best offensive player of the last goddamn 50 years in my mind. So they can win that way. They have no hope of being a great defense, I don't think. They will not be a top 5 defense for any stretch. I think the Lakers against certain matchups can be a very good defense. Like, it's not going to look the way you thought it would. They're going to be this small ball swarming defense. Yeah. They're going to have buy-in from JJ Redick and be like all effort despite the lack of talent there. And maybe Jackson Hayes gets exposed against the right people, so then you really have no center depth. That can happen. I can imagine a world in which they enter a playoff series and it ends and they have like a really, really good defensive rating.
Yeah, that's an offseason combo though. What you brought up about Jokic, we gonna touch on that in the offseason. But two, I also think like it's much easier, and not to say that like in the grand scheme of things that it's less valuable or whatever, but it is much easier to replace a defensive anchor than it is to replace somebody who's going out and giving you, an efficient like 27 a night, right? Like we've seen teams either lose or trade away their top defender, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like how is it gonna work? And then you just figure out another scheme. You figure out another way to play with the personnel that you have. And the Lakers have done that, right? Like you trade away AD, one of the best defenders in the league, and it's like, okay, great defender leaves, bad defense has to come. And we've seen throughout the course of the year when we've seen JJ Redick show that he is a good coach, that he knows how to adapt. And we've talked in every 10 to 15 game stretch about, how the Lakers look here, how the Lakers look there. And we've always had different conversations because they've always had different looks. And it's because JJ Redick and the Lakers have consistently evolved the way that they have played throughout the year. So from that standpoint, I will give you that. Like in a playoff matchup, like JJ might have the upper hand on Mike Malone.
I was gonna say, this is the part I'm a homer in, and I'll say this. Am I crazy for thinking he's like a top 10 coach already? Like, I feel like he's a truly elite coach. And granted, coming into the season, I've been a fan of JJ Redick as an analyst, player, all these things forever. So I was already on the high off the hopium when they signed him. Like, I was fully accepting the reality that I set for myself that he's going to be the next Pat Riley. Like, I need to be proven that he's bad before proving that he's good, which is ass backwards for someone who's never been a coach before. I can recognize that. I can recognize that.
Yeah.
I feel like he's truly elite. I feel like he gets the defense, he gets the buy-in and camaraderie in the locker room, which you always need, right? Mm-hmm. Clearly, this team is amped up for him. He adapted. He started this year off with a scheme, wanted to switch all. It didn't go too well because they had Anthony Davis, who's better as a drop. He adapted to Anthony Davis. They trade for DFS. They get people to fit his scheme more. Now they adapt to the switch all thing. That's really working now, especially post Anthony Davis. So he shows he can adapt to the talent at hand. He's integrated Luka perfectly, seemingly integrated him chemistry-wise perfectly. There's really been zero like ramp-up period where things look really ugly at first, outside of Luka looking rusty. I don't know any reason to not feel extremely, extremely good about what JJ Redick has showed us.
Donovan.
Yes.
Man, fuck these guys. Everything goes into these guys. What the
Nah,
fuck?
for real, I hate
give a
them.
shit,
Yo,
bro.
I can't stand them.
Yeah.
I can't stand them. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to hate on them going into the playoffs. And the only basis that I will have to hold on to is that they lost to the Charlotte Hornets. Like, that's the only thing. Because everything else that they have put forward, whether they have won the game or not, you've been able to take pieces away from how they are playing now, where it's like, oh, that's going to work in 2 months. Oh, that's gonna be good. And so the only thing, and it ultimately may be their downfall, because we saw it be, out of many reasons, but we saw it be one of the key reasons why the Mavericks weren't able to, keep up with the Celtics, was like, how's Luka going to perform defensively in a playoff series if he's being isolated over and over and over again? And can he do that for 3 straight rounds? Like, my biggest concerns about the Lakers are Luka's individual defense there, and then yes, LeBron has been given amazing effort for this last stretch. When we get to playoff schedule, you are playing every other night. The games are intense from start to forward, right? Like, is LeBron going to be able to give you that level of intensity every single night? And those are the 2 things that I'm worried about. And we'll see. We'll see what.
And for that, I agree with you also, Donovan, but I'm touching back on Isaac's basis, like JJ Redick being a top 10 coach in the NBA. I am so on board with that, because it's so incredibly hard to consistently change, shape, and reformat your identity time and time again through the D'Los of the world. Okay, you bench D'Lo, Cam Reddish.
That was easy for JJ.
Okay, Cam Reddish is starting. You're gonna toy and experiment with fucking Dalton Connect in the goddamn starting lineup. There's so many different things, but through all these things, the recipe and format is put out in the best way possible. He gets the most out of his guys. I'm putting on my iPad again. I think I got one more stat and think I'm done for the day.
JJ Redick's mix of work ethic and locker room skills and X's and O's smarts of making good adjustments. Like, not a lot of people have all 3 of those, where you look across the board and you're like, oh, so he is insane, he's smart, and his team believes in him. Who checks all those boxes? Probably like 7 coaches in the league.
Yeah.
So, speaking of all 3, only 3 teams in the Western Conference have a winning record over 500 teams.
Hell yeah.
One of them being the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think I wrote the Houston Rockets.
Yo,
and the goddamn Los Angeles Lakers are there as well.
Crazy. Like,
and they just traded for Luka Doncic. Fuck these guys.
Again, I feel like a homer, because everything I want to point to, none of the flaws that are going to come around eventually, there will be rocky points. Not everything will be great forever. None of the rockiness has shown its face yet, for real. Like, yeah, they lost to the Hornets. They were down like 5 rotation players. It was the game before the All-Star break.
Don't care.
Yeah.
We can point to that and be like, you bums, go ahead if you want. But that shit means less than nothing to me.
Don't care. LaMelo walked into crypto.com, said, Luka, come here. Ha ha ha. I told you, that's the only thing I'm holding on to. That's my only hope, is that people can tell Luka to come here, and they cross him up. That's all.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. The highlights will look fantastic. Outside of that, I'm waiting for these downsides to show themselves. As the weeks progress, my takes will get progressively as my confidence grows, so will the takes. We'll see how I feel in a week from now.
Yeah, you're the worst person to have a good team. Like, out of all of us, you're the last person I would want to have a good team.
Man, slide me some of that hopium, man. I need that shit bad, bro. I need that shit bad.
That's funny. All right, we can transition to our next story. Outside of the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we have to kind of hold a mini funeral a little bit for Podcast P.
Oh shit! What happened?
Pour one out. Breaking. Paul George is taking a break from podcasting to focus on a championship. Quote unquote, I want to let the Podcast P family know that after today's episode with Dwight, I plan to take a break from the pod just to focus on getting my body right, mentality right, and you know what? Help the squad make a push towards our goal to finish the season out and give ourselves a chance to be in contention to compete for a championship.
See, that's the part where, like, all right, brother, I'm gonna need you to you're doing the right thing, right? In terms of public perception, you are doing the right thing, right? I'm going 0 dark 30. I'm shutting it down. We're trying to make this push. That's great. Do not push this. Oh, we're doing it for a championship. You're in 12th place. in the Eastern Conference. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't even think you can say he's doing the right thing. I think it looks funnier this way. I think I'd rather you do nothing at this point. Because to do this bullshit, well, not even bullshit, like you said, on paper, it makes sense. Good leadership move. If you did it 4 months ago, to do it now when the season's over, after you had that comment the other day where you called out your team for being soft, essentially, and people were upset with you. I wasn't. I think it's fine for you to say that. But, the fans were upset. And then 2 days later, you come out and you're like, time for me to lock in. That's hilarious. The timing is fucking comical. The season's over. Everybody wants to tank now so you can keep your top 6 protected pick. Like, the goal should be probably to lose. And now you're like, now I'm getting for real about winning. That's so funny. I'd rather you say nothing and just go about your day.
You remember he consistently does this though, because he had a clip. I think it was like in the offseason when he was like, oh, okay, you know what? I guess I got a bully now. I guess I got a bully.
He said I'm back on my bully. That's the exact verbiage he used.
Now I got a bully.
It's like, okay, all right, fine. It's just funny. It's just funny. Yeah, you have to do this at Christmas, not a week after the All-Star game.
like this season is lost. Your team has no more chance. It's cooked, and it's so funny.
What's the lowest you can be to say, all right, I'm gonna lock in? Like, does this work if you are the 6th seed?
Guys.
And you're like, all right, we're not gonna fall out of, we're not gonna fall into the play-in.
Are we gonna witness
definitely.
Paul George set like a new precedent for like players of podcasts and
Wait, he said a new what?
A new president.
My bad.
You guys said president.
He said it wrong a second time.
I said president. That's fucking hilarious. But will we see a change when it comes to these players of podcasts and like how they decide to maneuver when their team is ass?
I don't know, but this was followed by Kendrick Perkins going on ESPN and being like, talking about the roommates, talking about Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, where he's like, I think they should take a break from podcasting too. I think they should get serious, because he saw the opportunity to get topical, to extend the hot take, and had to take it. It's just so funny.
I will say, not to take it serious, but to get out ahead of things. Because if the Knicks lose in the first round, I don't want to hear no big head jokes. I don't want to hear anything about Mike and Ice. I don't want to hear from y'all if the Knicks lose in the first round. I can't take it.
We're calling up Playmaker. We're demanding that show be taken off the air.
I'm calling it every day. I can't handle it.
Yeah. So this is kind of funny. Like, I wonder if this is like a turning point for player podcasts, where, like, Draymond Green has podcasted after playoff losses and gotten like, I don't know, backlash is the word. People just being like, this is kind of crazy to do it with this level of frequency and this level of quick turnaround after like a loss in the playoffs in a game that is really important, like to go straight to consumer, talking to the fans right after is strange because we've never seen anything like that. Do you feel like this is going to be the type of thing that maybe we see other players eventually like? Right now, there's a clear acceptance of podcasting right after a game. Do you feel like there's a world we move towards like a little more tact and players are a little scared to be quite as direct?
It depends on the loss. If you get beat by 30, do not put out an episode. It's very clear. It's single digit losses. You can show up on the mic, and this is really where it's different, is because if you talk to the media after the game, fine. The media is in the locker room. You're getting changed. It's right there. If you put out an episode, somebody has to edit that, right? Somebody has to put in work to make sure that all of this content gets put out. There's a higher barrier to entry for you putting out a 45-minute statement rather than just talking to the media for 10 minutes. So again, if you lose by single digits, get on the podcast, tell us what happened, talk about like talk about like the small moments that people won't think about in terms of like what flipped the game. But if you lose by 30 in the second round or more, I do not want to.
But folks got contractual obligations though, Donovan. They got to get their bag. What do you mean?
This is something you have to think about before. Right? You have to think about it before you sign the
Let's talk
contract.
about the business and media, and let's talk about the always on news cycle and the need to have perpetual content to build a library of content.
You are a hooper. You are not on CNN. This is not 24 hours. Like, what are we doing?
All right, man. So we'll see where Podcast P goes. Right now, it's on hiatus. Hopefully, it's not the start of a slow death of Podcast P.
Hopefully not. It was actually great content.
You better not have guests on during the playoffs either. I'll really get upset. I'll be so mad.
All right, next thing we're gonna talk about. Let's take we're post trade deadline now, and I don't know if you guys know this is the unofficial start of tank season. Where teams finally now there's gonna be some teams out there that kind of they see the lay of the land. They know it's time to pick a direction, for lack of better words.
They gonna put their swords down.
Yep. So let's take a look at the tankathon odds right now and see where we're sitting at, and kind of just talk about the general landscape right now of the tanking teams in the league.
I love this game.
There's a lot to be had here. It's quite interesting of the teams that desperately need to get as high on this board as they can. As of today, the number one best odds are we'll go tiers because it's percentage based.
Okay.
The top 3 best odds for number 1 overall: the Washington Wizards, Utah Jazz, and Charlotte Hornets. Just outside that at 4, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, then Toronto Raptors. And the main reason I want to talk about this, at 6, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They're now at the point where they can keep their pick if things go chalk. Interesting. What else stands out to you here?
I always love on Tankathon how losing is in green and winning is in red because like, losing is better.
They understand the assignment, bro. They understand the assignment.
I like the Sixers on a 9-game win streak gets green in there. That's my favorite part about Tankathon.
That shit is so comical.
I didn't even realize they lost 3 in a row and 9 in a row. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Wow.
That's insane. When I look at this, the biggest takeaway for me is like, okay, first and foremost, obviously I'm a Hawks fan. I'm like, fuck, sad. Like, we lose a goddamn pick. Whatever.
Yo, Paul George lost 9 games in a row. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna get serious now.
Yo, he's putting aside his like
y'all
podcast
lost
career for this, bro.
Y'all lost for 3 weeks straight. And you're like, oh, I'm
And
gonna
the
get serious.
and the All-Star break, so it was a month straight.
I would love, when is the Sixers next game? I would love nothing more than for the Sixers to lose another game after locking in. When is their next game? I
This shit
need
is
to
so
know.
sad, bro. This
I
shit
need
is
to
so
know.
sad. 9 straight games is OD hell. 9 games? Holy shit. And they're trying to win 2. I see Joel.
Okay,
Embiid
they
out
play.
there.
Oh, perfect. They play Saturday night. They play Saturday night against the Warriors. Oh, let's
Prime
go. That's so funny.
Yeah, so Mo, like you were saying, the Hawks are currently on projections to give the 11th pick to the San Antonio Spurs, who
so
right
good.
now have 9 and 11.
I'm sorry.
I didn't think anymore.
Yeah, so yeah, the thing that stands out the most to me is seeing the Hawks. Naturally, I'm a Hawks fan. We're ass, and I see the Spurs get our pick. Cool, but also kind of switching tree branches, looking at the San Antonio Spurs. Holy fuck, they've been ass. We all know Victor Wembanyama been out, or he's out for the rest of the season. And slowly, I can see this team like fucking soaring towards the top of this goddamn draft simulator, bro. Because the Chicago Bulls and Brooklyn Nets, the Bulls more so don't know how to do anything right. So they're going to be like their traditional 7th, 8th, 10th pick or whatever it is. So I can imagine the San Antonio Spurs surpassing them. The Brooklyn Nets just like are allergic to being ass, and they are like just committed to being a respectable basketball team, somewhat respectable. So I can see them like leapfrogging them too. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen to the Philadelphia 76ers? I can't tell you that, but I know that the San Antonio Spurs are they're gonna rise up in this ranking right now, especially with the way De'Aaron Fox is playing. And I also think he's hurt too. He has like some finger stuff going on.
Bro, get that thumb surgery.
Yeah, so I think they're getting ready to mail it in, and they're gonna fucking soar. And adding one more highly touted lottery prospect to this team, potentially 2, because it's going to be 2 because the goddamn Hawks pick.
Yeah, I need them to get to 7 really bad. If they get to 7, they have a 32% chance of top 4. Top 4 pick to this Spurs roster, as well as maybe like 10 or whatever from the Hawks. I need it. Who do you guys? Looking at this top 5 right now, top 6, throw Philadelphia in there. Who do you want to see land number 1?
I think someone who like
Washington,
absolutely deserves to have number 1. It's either between Washington or Utah. I kind of want to see Utah like finally have a number 1 overall pick. I think they might be one of the few teams in history to like not have a number 1 overall pick. Should I pull out my iPad? I'll let y'all rest for now. But I think they deserve it because they have no fucking framework. Washington, they're starting to build someone identity. It will be cool. It will be super interesting if New Orleans got it. But out of all, if we're being honest, it needs to be the Charlotte Hornets. They have nothing. Nothing.
No, I don't. I actually do not want Cooper Flag to go to the Charlotte Hornets. I think like they have proven themselves to be untrustworthy. And in terms
what
of
do they do? What you mean? How are they untrustworthy?
In terms of it, part of it is them. The other part is that LaMelo Ball has like bad ankles. So there's that aspect of it. But I would like to see Cooper Flag go to Utah or Washington, because I think that having Cooper Flag with Alex Sarr and having basically essentially back-to-back number one overall picks, like that would be very, very cool. And I want the Wizards to be good. They like, we've only seen them be at elite mid throughout our lifetimes. I want to see them build a base to where they can actually be a contender in the Eastern Conference for a couple years to come. So I would like to see that from them. And then Utah, like Mo said, they need somebody and they need something. And who else than like the Great White Hope to go into Utah and like save them? So I think it would fit.
I really want Toronto to get to number 2 and get Dylan Harper, get the best point guard in the draft. Because I know if they're going to build around the forward duo of Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram, I like that. Emmanuel Quickley is it's in the air if he's going to be worth the contract he was given and going to be like their point guard of the future. That's fully in the air. I want them to get to number 2 or number 3 so they can get either Dylan Harper and get their point guard, or VJ Edgecombe and get that shooting guard in there that can replace RJ Barrett maybe. I'm hoping they don't stay at 5.
Damn, that's crazy. They're in your mind, they're gonna trade away OG and Anunoby, have these 2 other guys, and then potentially get rid of both of them for OG. But okay. Also New Orleans at 4,
They're
jumping up to 1.
Yeah.
That would be super fun.
They're the most interesting scenario with Cooper Flag because he is a power forward, I think. I don't think he is, like, you're going to want him to play power forward. You want him to play next to a traditional 5, and I don't think you want him to play the 3. I don't know if people that know more than me think he's capable of doing that or not. Maybe it's possible. Zion Williamson, power forward. He can't play shit else. He essentially is a power forward or a point guard, essentially, on offense. You got to pick one of those. He can't play 2, 3, or 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense to have both of them. So if they were to get Cooper Flag, the Zion Williamson equation gets very, very interesting.
In my mind, with a prospect like Cooper Flag, it's 110% worth taking the risk in the swing. Like, at this point in time, I have no stock in. I don't want to say no stock in Zion because he's been playing fucking fantastic basketball.
Yeah.
But I don't think of him as the future as much because you've been let down too many times before already. Instead, I see someone like Cooper Flag. I'm like, okay, I'm getting you. What can I do best to alleviate like the stresses and like the weirdness of the situation? Go ahead and get a stretch 5, which they did in Kelly Olynyk, and let these guys, Zion, Cooper Flag, and Trey Murphy, like rock out. So they're honestly like probably my favorite.
Can we take a second real quick?
Yeah.
To think about the fact that the Washington Wizards are 10-48. You know how many losses 48 losses is? A 17% win percentage? I never really sat down and thought about it.
No,
That's
it's a lot.
so
February.
many losses. 48.
It's a lot.
48.
Yeah, that's
losses.
like there's basically like if you played every game of the week, you're losing 6 days out the week. Like that's crazy.
I'm trying to think to myself, how was I watching basketball when the Hawks were in those dog days back in like 2017, 2018? Like, how do you watch
I feel
basketball?
really bad. I feel really bad for those fans.
No, it's even crazier to think about this. There's teams out there that have won 10 games in a whole season and went 10-72. That's even crazier.
I mean, listen, that could be the Washington Wizards.
They win 34. They lose the next 34 games or 24 games.
I don't know. I mean, listen, the Pistons just did it last year, so you don't want to be that team, but it can happen.
Yeah. How high can the Atlanta Hawks fall and give the Spurs pick wise? What's the ceiling here? Can we get the number 8 pick to the Spurs from Atlanta?
See, I don't like that energy. I don't like that angle. How high can the Atlanta Hawks rise from this goddamn instance that they're in right
13.
now?
They can get to 9, I think. Maybe 8 would probably like something would have to break their way. Like some teams would really have to like some teams would really have to like luck into some wins in like the last weeks of March and the first weeks of April. But Portland, again, you see it in red. Portland has won 3 in a row. So they're on the up and up. If De'Aaron continues to play, San Antonio might be able to steal a couple wins. And then Chicago's always just doing the opposite of whatever they need to be. So Atlanta could do it. Like they're like a Trae Young ankle sprain away from getting into the 8th seed or 8th spot.
Yeah, I think we'll monitor this tankathon thing weekly and kind of get the lay of the land right now. But very interesting. This is going to be a very fun year of lottery watch. I think with the fact that San Antonio can add 2 picks, the fact that Rockets are going to add a lottery pick through the Phoenix Suns is kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake ass like lottery teams that are here, i.e. like the Spurs, the New Orleans Hornets, and fucking. I guess you could talk about the fucking Rockets too as well. So many weird teams that can get so many legs up in this year's draft class.
Yeah, and from what I hear, again, I don't fully deep dive into the lottery until like closer to draft season. From what I hear, this is a very top loaded draft class where the top like 6 or 7 are elite, and after that, it's like not last year where it's terrible, but it's not 2017 where it's 10
draft
deep.
Class.
Yeah, but it's really top heavy. So I feel like this is the year you really want to get into that top 6 or 7.
True. All right. I feel like whenever we end the Tankathon segment, we should sim the lottery one time and see who gets the number 1 pick.
All right, let's press this button.
Hopefully it's the
One
Sacramento
time.
goddamn Kings.
Utah gets number 1. San Antonio gets number 2 from the Hawks. They go up 9.
You can't make this up, bro.
Dude,
You can't make this up.
Dude, if the Hawks handed VJ Edgecombe to the Spurs, oh my God, that'd be so funny. If the Spurs are number 2, do they pick Dylan Harper or do they not because they have De'Aaron Fox now?
Oh, fuck. I'm picking me personally. I'm picking Dylan Harper because there's a real world in which someone like him and De'Aaron Fox can play together. They don't step on each other's toes as much.
Castle and Vassell is your bench backcourt, I guess.
Yeah, Castle and that's a deep
Yeah.
guard.
Well, I guess Vassell
wing
would start
combo.
first, so it would be like Castle and Harper as your bench backcourt, which is strange. Like
It is so
drafting
weird.
number 2 guy to be a 6th man, at least for a while. But listen, they're in a strange situation where they have this guy that's so good and they're building this team. Oh, I mean, they also could take Ace Bailey, who'd be a good fit, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
All
see.
right.
So
Yeah.
many question marks on him, but we'll know as time goes on.
Portland number 3, New Orleans 4. Washington drops. If Washington drops to 5 and gets to the Detroit Pistons treatment, oh, that'd be sad. That always happens. The number 1 pick drops to 5.
This is very tough.
Also, in this world, the Sixers fell to 8 and gave the pick to OKC. That would be hilarious.
It would
That would
be
be
a nightmare scenario.
catastrophic
It'd be a
for
nightmare
Philadelphia. Not hilarious at all.
It should be funny to me. I don't give a shit about this about the outcome. Listen, as somebody as an OKC enjoyer, I think it would be wonderful. I think it'd be swell.
Wow. All right.
Damn, bro, this would be sad.
Good stuff, though.
And with that
Crazy
being said, Mo, what time is it?
Finally, I've been gone for a minute. It's on to TikTok time. Juiced up this time, though, with iPad. Yee.
Nice. iPad kid time. Let's go. Welcome to TikTok time. Mo has an iPad in hand, looking hella studious, got his glasses on, ready to. Are you gonna win this draft with your first draft with the iPad PED?
No glasses on. Next episode, I should find these motherfuckers and really put them on. But actually, I'm ready. I'm genuinely ready to lock the fuck in, bro. I have the power of AI in my hands.
The power of AI. It's a Microsoft commercial. Gross. Whack ass power. Anyways, we're gonna do a draft today of building NBA lineups with only players who wore number 0. Not 00, just 0.
Okay.
So the draft order is Donovan, Mo, me. Donovan, no crying about how you never number 1 overall pick. Remember this day, you're number 1.
First pick is kind of scary in this draft, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players, so there's not even I don't know which one's the best to have. It really doesn't matter because there's a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, okay.
Okay,
All right, let's
where are
start.
we going with the first overall pick? Who are you starting your team with?
I would like to build my team around the one and the only, the anomaly. Give me Jayson Tatum.
Damn it!
Small forward.
The
I was
anomaly,
hoping you
damn
didn't pick
it.
him.
Okay.
I figured you'd pass on him because of the hatred in your heart.
You have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get positional value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I love that. All right. Speaking of positional value, give me someone who can play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me DeMarcus Cousins at the 5.
Ah! Damn.
There's not a lot of bigs here.
There's not.
That's
Damn
good.
it.
Okay.
Oh, that's horrible. Jesus Christ. I do not like being number 3. Well, I mean, shit. I guess give me Damian Lillard. I guess I'll pick the best point guard here that I want to build around.
Oop.
Give me Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's so many point guards who
Yeah,
are number
there's-
0. I guess I'll just go firepower, honestly. Give me Tyrese Maxey, I guess. I guess I'll go shooting guard that can get
Okay.
buckets.
Okay.
Okay. That's not
I
bad
guess that's
at
the
all.
best fit between the
Buckets.
2 guards. Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah,
Damn,
where's
Lillard's
that?
off
Where's
the board, I like.
Where's that iPad taking you?
Yeah, where are you going next?
This iPad's taking me to a lot of places, but the most obvious place to lean towards is the best number 0 in 0 history, Russell Westbrook.
I did forget about Russ. I don't know if I would have picked him or not, but I did forget about Russ.
I thought you were
thinking, like-
shading Russ when you're like, yeah, you want to build around him. I'm like, whoop.
I don't know if I would have picked him for fit reasons, but yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I would have. Him and Maxey would be a good fit.
All right. Let's
Okay.
see.
Russ and Boogie is a good place to start. We'll see if you sell.
That is true. That is true. All right. Well, we have a lot of cards off the list now that I have to now adjust for. But you know what?
I might have to go 3-guard lineup. There's a lot of backcourt players here.
I got powers that y'all don't have.
Here's what we're gonna do here. Here's what at my center position, I'm playing small ball. We're going
Okay.
with Kevin Love at the center.
Okay.
Oh, he switched cheese for sure.
And then at my power forward, somebody who could do a lot of things, Sean Marion.
Oh, I didn't even realize you wore number 0. Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, you got a interesting switchy lineup. I see what you're cooking.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So I got Russ and Boogie. Super dynamic, super explosive. At my 2 guard, naturally, give me Agent 0.
Okay.
I was hoping he was gonna be there for me.
Nope.
Coming back. Okay.
You're still okay though. There's still so many guards.
No, there is.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
Yeah. Okay, so I need defense. I need role players. Give me Trevor Ariza at 3.
Ah, shit. You took my
Elite
pick.
defender.
I was about
Yeah.
to put Trevor Ariza at my 2 and just have this crazy lineup.
Yeah.
Give me Trevor Ariza. And then I need all the defense I can get. Low key,
Who's going to put at the 5?
I'm gonna put Ariza at the 4, actually.
Okay.
Give me Larry Hughes at the 3. Give me another good all defense level player.
Larry
Okay.
Hughes. Okay.
Wow. Deep cut. I know I hear a lot of whoos.
I know the Gomez might not know who that is, but that's a good pick. That's a great defender.
Okay, Larry Hughes is a good pick. Damn.
Where do I want to go with this?
We're all going fucking small. There's not that many options here. But I need something to counteract with all y'all firepower. I want to move Gilbert Arenas at the 3 and give me Avery Bradley at the 2.
Gilbert Arenas at the 3.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Let's get real nasty.
This guy has a Russ Avery Bradley back. Bricks.
Whoa, this is prime Avery Bradley. What are we talking about?
Oh yeah,
37%
you're right. You're right.
three-point shooter Avery
You're right.
Bradley.
You are correct.
Come on,
You are
now.
correct.
This is a nightmare offensive.
You are correct. You are correct.
This is nasty. And then Boogie holding down the defense at the 5. Gross.
Brother, you have no 5 right now. You have
Do
a
you think I'm
backcourt
done?
of Lillard and Maxey so far.
Do you think I'm done?
You might as well be. There's no going back. There's no saving you.
There definitely is. I have 2 elite defenders. I still get to pick my 5.
All right, this 5 better save you. I'm curious to see you
All
again.
right, here we go. All right, last picks of the draft. My point guard. I need an actual point guard. So give me somebody who can dime people up. I want Tyrese Halliburton as my point guard.
It's nice.
And at my shooting guard, see, this is tough because do I want to get some more firepower? Do I want to just add some?
Jalen Green's right there for you.
He is right there. But I want somebody who could do a little bit of both. Play some defense and knock down some shots, which is why I'm taking the big ragu, Dante DiVincenzo. Dante
Ew.
DiVincenzo at my 2.
Okay.
And I'm putting him right there. Great role player. And that's exactly what we need.
Prime Dante DiVincenzo. I like that.
Understand. Understand. You need a shooter? That's what he is. All right, that's what he is.
Okay, I got a whole lot of buckets coming from Avery Bradley. I said Avery
You also have
Bradley.
the opportunity. You have the opportunity to do a very funny thing right now.
You do have a very hilarious opportunity with a very small man.
Wait, what's the opportunity?
It's okay.
No,
Just
go
keep
ahead.
going.
Pick your player.
Man, I already have someone in mind who I want to slice and dice into this lineup. I need someone who's low key, not high maintenance. Don't mind like not touch a ball for like 7-8 possessions straight. He's the biggest guy who I can find who fits my needs. Nickeil Alexander Walker, welcome to my power forward position.
Yes, dude. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, man.
Listen,
What's your problem?
I got the biggest guy in this entire lineup.
What's your problem, dude? Like,
I'm not worried
Not
about
anymore,
size
you don't.
whatsoever.
Not anymore, you don't. I got 2 scorers, 2 defenders. Give me the best rebounder on the list. All NBA, Andre Drummond.
why did
God.
you do that? Why
God.
did you not put Boogie at your 4 and put Drummond at the 5?
I forgot Andre Drummond
just to
exists,
screw
bro.
him over.
My team makes sense. I win by default.
This guy
I
put
know.
Nickeil Alexander Walker at the 4.
My team is super versatile, though, to be
Your
honest.
team
with you.
sucks.
Who is my 4 going against? Your 4,
is
Sean
so
Marion
fucking
and Ariza.
stupid.
My team's better than yours.
Your team
No,
sucks.
it's not. You said who's your 4 going against. You have easily the worst player at the 4. Sean Marion's so much better than Nickeil
Nickeil Alexander Walker's good at doing his job. It's not about being better.
So
than
is Sean Marion.
bro.
So is
His
Trevor
job
Ariza.
is shooting guard, not power forward.
I got the best point guard, the most effective 2 guard. I have a very talented, the best
effective
bucket
2
getting Gilbert Arenas at the 3, and I
No,
got
you
Nickeil
don't.
Alexander Walker.
You
the
also
best
don't
5.
have the most effective 2 guard.
None of
definitely
that's true.
do.
None of that's
Wait,
true.
are we disrespecting Prime Avery Bradley right now? This is what this
I have
world has
Tyrese
come to.
Maxey. I have an all-star.
He has never seen a demon like Avery Bradley. Ever. What?
So, body listeners, to recap, I have Damian Lillard, Tyrese Maxey, Larry Hughes, Trevor Ariza, Andre Drummond.
Shout out Larry Hughes, man.
Larry Hughes is hilarious.
Yes. For my
I got
team,
Russ. Oh, go ahead.
for my team, I have Tyrese Halliburton at point guard, Dante DiVincenzo at the 2. We're switching Sean Marion to the 3, putting Tatum at the 4, and then
Okay.
Kevin Love at the 5.
Okay. I got
High-powered
Westbrook
offense.
at the 1, Avery Bradley at the 2, Gilbert Arenas at the 3, Nickeil Alexander Walker at the 4, and I got big 28 points per game Boogie Cousins at the 5.
Your team is trash, dude.
Brother, see
your
me in
team
2K
wouldn't-
with this team.
Your team wouldn't make the play-in tournament in today's NBA. This is one of the
Brother,
worst teams
your
in the Western
defense is
Conference.
horrendous.
No,
Andre
it's not. I
Drummond's
have
not
Larry
doing
Hughes.
anything. Larry
have two
Hughes is only
All-NBA
so
defenders.
big. Larry Hughes.
I have all. You don't know about prime Trevor Ariza. That's a problem here. You don't remember young Trevor Ariza, who was an elite 6'9" defender. Larry
Shiver
Hughes
me
made an
timbers.
all-defense team.
Shiver me timbers. Ball
I got
up.
an all-star.
Gilbert Arenas
I
is
got an
looking at you in your
all-star
face right now.
backcourt and 2 All-NBA defenders.
Dude, you have
can do a lot
Gilbert
worse.
Arenas at your small forward. What are we talking
Brother,
about?
you
here?
have. I know the guy with Kevin Love as a starting 5 isn't talking to me, and you have Tyrese Halliburton. Your 1 through 5 is getting Swiss cheese every single goddamn time, and you're used to getting that. And you're used to getting that type of Swiss cheese too. You know why? This looks like New York Knicks is to me, bro. You got Love at the 5, who's not playing no defense, and you got someone like Jalen Brunson who also plays no defense.
Let's not
Your
talk
pick and roll
about
is
teams.
nasty.
We
Your
just
pick and roll is
finished
nasty.
a segment where your team was in the lottery. Don't talk to me about teams. Your
And
team had
at least I'm
multiple
walking
picks
away
in the
with a
lottery.
lottery pick.
Don't talk to me about team success
Your
right now.
team can't beat teams over 500. Don't talk to me either, all right? I know how to do my job well.
And guess
being
what?
mid. You
Your
can't
team
be
isn't
great.
over 500, and we will beat you.
You guys lost in the fucking goddamn, what was that tournament called? The
I
Emirates Cup
literally
shit?
posted a picture of you after your team lost just
On a-
recently.
On a random Wednesday night that no one cares.
Go ahead, take your moral victory. That is for minor league franchises.
That's not
what-
even a moral victory. It's a moral loss.
When was the last time you guys had 60 wins in a season?
What does that mean?
Oh,
What?
60 wins in a season. Who's the most accomplished team over the last 10 to 15 years?
Your entire franchise record is like 500. You've been mid for your entire existence.
If we want to
You
talk
have no
about who's
titles.
really, If
You have no
wanna talk
titles.
about who's really like,
I don't
an
care if it's
accomplished
pre-merger.
franchise,
You have no
How
titles.
many All Stars have you guys had compared to me? How many different All Stars?
How many rings do you have? How many rings do you have? 2.
Back when?
Do we have them?
How old are you?
Do we have them?
Your age, please, sir.
Do we have them?
You weren't allowed to drink at the same water fountain as some people back then. That does not count. Those rings are fake. You weren't alive. Meanwhile,
Have you ever been
Lakers
to the
fan over
finals?
here sitting down. St. Louis is cool.
All right, exactly. Next topic. Next topic. You've never been there.
You won't be there ever.
I've heard the stories. We'll be back.
All right, man. Feels good to be out of these combos. Have y'all been in the middle?
Shut up. Shut
Fuck the
up.
Lakers. This guy.
I'm just hearing the mid off, and I'm just like, it's not my business. I'm staying out of business of the mid.
Fake fan.
Next thing we're gonna do.
He is a fake fan.
Next thing we're gonna do.
He don't get mad when they lose.
Facts.
Don't get mad.
I've never seen Isaac break anything after a Lakers loss. He's fake.
I agree.
Okay. Can't breathe. As you guys know, Bleacher Report graphics of quotes have become a part of meme culture on NBA Twitter. You know, there's some famous ones that have transcended NBA culture even. I'm going to show you some famous quote graphics from NBA players. You guys rate them from 1 to 10.
Let's lock in. Let's
Yeah,
lock in.
It's going to be generational.
Based on whatever you want to
I'm ready
gauge
to lock in.
humor, goodness of the quote, whatever. First off, we got Vince Carter. I got one more in me.
Come on now.
This
Come
is
on now.
good, but it was painful for me as a Hawks fan to witness. I love Vince Carter so much, but goddamn, that last year was horrendous.
You're like, actually, I wish you had one less in you.
This is still
The
10 out of
usability
10.
is great.
That's what I'm
Is
saying.
it 10 out of 10?
It's so
because of the
versatile.
photo choice. The photo choice makes it a 10. It's hilarious. I got one more in me.
That's what I'm saying. It's so confident. It is. You can use this in whatever you are talking about. I'm going 10 out of 10.
And you feel the spirit from this photo too, bro.
You do.
He's given all his heart when it comes to this shit. He made damn near tar his goddamn shoulder with this. I got one more in me shit, bro.
Yeah. This is an unk that doesn't quit. I respect it. Next up, the lights were brighter than expected from Jared Allen.
Oh, Jared. Jared,
This
why'd
is
you
Hall
say
of Fame
this?
worthy.
Why'd you
This is
say
Hall of-
this?
Hey, he died for the meme streets, bro. And I love it. This is
He
important.
sacrificed himself on the meme cross to give us some laughs. I respect it.
Yeah, like not a lot of people will. Jared Allen's probably not a household name necessarily, but I bet your ass that you've seen this goddamn meme before, bro. It's generational, feeds families. My kids' will be using this. It's applicable in any situation.
Sometimes the lights are too bright, and I applaud self-awareness. Sometimes you got to know that look, I wasn't built for the moment. 8 out of 10.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. All the lack of self-awareness and the honesty in this meme is really what it is. Because anybody else, like, you would know, I can't say this because people are going to clown me for it. Jared legitimately was like, no, the lights were too bright. I can't do it.
And that's real.
That's what I'm saying. I
incredibly
have
real.
respect for him. I have respect for him.
Yep.
Knowing that this is happening on the other side of your statement and you did what you had to do, 10 out of 10.
Everybody has a social obligation in this world. Everybody signs a social contract. Social contract to be a part of a functioning society. Jared Allen, your role on this day was to provide us with memes, and you lived up to the expectations.
Play your
He's
role,
done
do
so
your
much
job.
for society.
That's a professional.
Great Samaritan.
Next up, who the hell want me? From Markieff Morris a couple weeks ago.
No, this is sick.
It's hilarious.
This is
He
OD
said- He
self-awareness.
found out he was getting traded to the Lakers, and he was like, they fucking want me? What the fuck? Nobody's wanted me in years.
It's very funny. I'm still going like 6 out of 10. There are other memes and other pictures that you can use to get this point across.
The problem here is there's no
Nah.
nostalgia involved for you yet. The time hasn't passed yet for you to see it as iconic. Once Valentine's Day rolls around next year and people have this to use, it is going to go down in history.
Yeah, exactly. Or when the next like role player requests a goddamn trade, they're gonna, if no one goes ahead and bites on the bait, this meme will be used.
Oh, next time Patrick Beverly is a free agent, this is gonna have some use.
Or announces, when he announces his return to the NBA, bro, this is gonna be spam, guaranteed.
Next time Isaiah Thomas tries out for a team, this is gonna get some use.
Not too much. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
I'm just saying, this is gonna hit.
They gave up on him. They gave up on him. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
7 out of 10. But it's gonna rise up the ranks pretty fast. Next up, what happened to the game I love from Mark Jackson?
This is a 12 out of 10. I quote this on a daily basis, right? You have to see in no matter what aspect of your life, whether if it's sports, just relationships, cooking, anything, clothing, anything that is not anything that's different from what it once was, you can look at it and just says, what happened to the game I love?
This is the perfect Unc meme, bro.
Facts. This is for all the nostalgia merchants in the world. Like you, this will be applicable forever.
That's
you
what I'm
will
saying.
always find a reason.
It connects with its audience. And that's why I love it.
I have no clue what the original context was to this. That's why I like it even more. I don't know what game he loved and what happened to that game, but it's eternal.
Yes. All I know is that I don't know what happened to the game that I love. All I know is that we lost recipes and nothing is the same. And now we're here.
He just keeps on rolling them off.
Next up, it's not as big as I expected.
Oh, this is a 1 out of 10, bro. What the hell are we talking about?
Sometimes shit just be disappointingly small. It's just not large. You expect a certain size and then it's smaller. Like you get a Big Mac. You hear the name Big Mac and you think it's going to fill you up, but it's not. Or when you get
listen, that shrinkflation is real. Man, I'm glad you said this. I went to Cane's the other day.
I was going to say a few years ago, they made
Man, I went to Cane's. I got a box combo. Chicken strips were small. Oh my goodness.
They used to be 8 inches. They used to be long. And now they're shrimp.
They were actual chicken strips. And I for real, I opened that box and I was like, these strips are not as big as I expected. So honestly, in terms of like real life application, what, 8 out of 10?
I'm fine with that. This happened. Who amongst us has not been disappointed by size?
Cane's, we're coming for you. All right. You better make them strips bigger, Cane's.
Next up, we got Shaq saying, "You can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game."
Again, this is a 10 out of 10, bro. This is like Shaq coming into like consciousness damn near.
It turns on.
It all started connecting.
I love this one because I can fully imagine
It's all
Shaq
making
saying
sense.
it.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with your game.
You can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game.
This one has a lot of use.
Yeah.
A lot of use for this one.
Bro.
Just another iconic Shaq moment. Probably an 8 out of 10 for me. Because the original of I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. That's 10 out of 10.
Okay, that's the better one. This is the rendition.
Mm-hmm. It's
like
hard. It's hard for the sequel to be better than the original.
Really? Okay, fair enough.
I feel like this might be one of those cases though. You can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game, bro. This just shows you like you've been around the way, you've been through it. You've been fooled multiple times throughout your life time period, bro.
Been around the block a few times.
Yeah, exactly. I like this. I like this a lot. It's very usable.
Okay. Last night I was so devastated I couldn't even tweet. The
so
picture of him
relatable.
crying makes this so fucking funny.
For the online community, it's a 10 out of 10. For everybody else, it's like 5 out of 10 because it's like, I may not be tweeting. But if you are online, if you are on NBA Twitter and your team goes through a painful loss,
Where's this from? What was he crying about?
That's what I was saying. I don't know.
You don't know the context.
I mean, I hope it's
Last
not.
night I was so devastated.
I hope it's not what I fucking think it might
I was
be.
gonna say the thing.
I hope it's not that.
Why are you like
It can't
this,
be.
man?
It can't be. It can't be. It can't be.
Because it's
Okay,
like, yo.
it was okay. So he tweeted this.
Please
kind of
no.
stupid. So he tweeted this in April of 2024. He
Nuggets one?
Yeah. Whole tweet was last night. I was so devastated I couldn't even tweet. An unbelievable shot by Jamal Murray. And
Yeah, I was Jamal Murray game.
and an outstanding comeback by the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I know it's not as old as you were implying. So yeah.
Dramatic ass tweet, bro. For what?
You think
Bro,
they
this
would
is
make a
real.
graphic for something that was said in the 90s? Like,
That's not what I thought.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, we don't have to
I
talk
was
about
thinking
it.
2020.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. Sometimes you got to be dramatic. Sometimes you need a vehicle to
that would
be
be
dramatic.
crazy. That would be crazy.
That'll be insane,
I'll
bro.
just click.
You're so slow.
Because I was going to listen. There's something there when you talk about Magic Johnson. There's something
said
that you don't
graphic for
say.
the 90s.
There's something that you don't say. I thought we were going to the original. Don't talk about that.
You picked the wrong canon events.
I thought we were going to the original, not the second one. And I was like, they didn't even have Twitter. Like, why would you even say that? So, I was confused. My bad. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I messed up. I'll lock in.
All right, next one. Fuck it.
Shout out Paul.
Maybe I Am Washed by Pat Riley.
Yo, I love self-realization, bro. It's okay to realize like when your time might be up. Did he make this after like they failed at getting Damian Lillard? I believe so.
No, this was early in the process of Jimmy Butler stuff, where they asked him like, "What do you think of the allegations that you might be washed? Essentially, that maybe your time has passed." And he's like, "Maybe I am."
Yo, the man's 81 years old. Yeah, he's washed, man. Like,
No, he meant
yes.
this.
And it's okay.
It was followed up by he's like sarcastic a little bit. He's not saying maybe I am washed,
Of course.
but he's being an asshole. But we don't know that. We don't know that in this. All we see is maybe I am washed. So to me, it sounds like self-awareness. Like, I was gonna say unk, but it's not even unk anymore. Like a grandpa realization. That
Yeah,
maybe
and the post too is a 10 out of 10 because it's like, damn, he's like tracing all the recent events that confirms like, yo, like he actually might be washed.
oh shit, it's all making sense.
Yeah.
I'll give this one a solid 7 out of 10.
Same.
Okay.
Next one. Oh, wrong way. It felt like I was descending into the depths of hell.
This is what will happen to me if the San Antonio Spurs get a top 3 pick via the Hawks. Swear to God, I won't be on this pod for like a month.
POV, you're
It'll
me
kill
watching
me.
Russell Westbrook on the Lakers in January 2023.
I think the usability of this is 5 out of 10 because the depth
Yeah,
of
it's
hell
not
is
high.
fucking scary. Yeah, it's
This is
not that
hilarious.
applicable.
I love this one.
It's very dramatic, and the internet is known for being dramatic. So in that sense, it is a 7 out of 10. But also, it's I'll go like 6 out of 10. I don't feel like this would be my go-to.
See, y'all just aren't real sufferers. You guys just haven't descended to the depths of hell yourself. You guys haven't been through. You guys haven't been through the pain necessary.
I'm
You
sorry,
haven't
brother.
you haven't been traumatized by a washed superstar making $40 million a year. You haven't
don't.
been through what I've been
Depths
through.
of hell? What are we talking about right now?
That's putting it lightly. I wanted to never watch sports again for 2 years.
I stay
Nah,
prayed
I'm
up,
good.
brother. I can't sign up for this.
I'm okay. Oh, bashata. I'm fine.
Next up, that was a masterpiece of dog shit by Will Hardy.
It's Will
It sounds
Hardy.
like he just like figured out how to curse because it's a
Yeah.
weird,
He's a little
it's a
kid.
weird phrase.
Yeah.
I love this one.
Masterpiece of dog shit. It's Will Hardy, so it's not that usable. It's not that recognizable. Also,
Are you crazy? Anytime a bad album drops, you quote it. Next time Tory Lanez drops or some other whack artist, you quote it. That was a masterpiece of dog shit. This is amazing.
It's a bar, but I think it's the delivery.
Wait. Time out. Keep saying that sentence, but instead of Tory Lanez, just keep saying different artists.
Next time, I can't think of any more whack artists. Why do you say that? You want to see what I think of?
Yeah.
Next time Drake and Party Next Door drops that bullshit. No, I don't know. But anytime a playoff stinker happens, someone drops a disgusting stat line, masterpiece of dog shit. There's a lot of times in this life where you can reference something being a masterpiece of dog shit.
Yeah.
That's true. I just feel like he doesn't have enough disgust in this graphic. That's all.
Not the good photo choice. Okay.
Yeah, gotta be more. You know.
Okay.
He needs more of
Fair
a
enough.
scowl.
Next up, we got Anthony Edwards. When things get hard, I get harder.
What are we talking about right now?
Wait, I mean, sometimes you got to rise to the occasion.
What are
Some
we
things
talking
are
about?
hard. Some obstacles in life are stiff. You got to
Stop
get
that.
stiffer.
Stop
And
that.
nobody understands that more
Stop
than Anthony
that.
Edwards. Sometimes
Stop
you got to
that.
rise to the occasion and
Stop
just
that.
go straight up.
This is a
And gets
bar, but this doesn't
Man, it's coming from the wrong person.
It doesn't align with Anthony Edwards, bro. I mean, it aligns too well. It's too real for him, bro. It's too
Stays hard.
It's too real.
Man.
Say, brother, we get it. Goddamn.
Too hard, too often.
Relax sometimes. Goddamn.
Take a shower, man. Calm down.
Read a book. Holy shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, get other hobbies, man. Damn.
10 out of 10. I don't care. Get other hobbies. Next up, he's broke and unemployed.
He's broken unemployed. Bobo, what possessed him to say this? Someone on Twitter.
There's very little stuff that can sting. Like get a job. Yo,
Pay your water bill.
man.
Oh man,
Good job, Grouch.
Yo, Bobo low-key got some quotes. There's another one. I don't know if it's up here, but Bobo also said, I think it was some Victor Wembanyama shit. He was like, "Y'all dick riding, bro. I get it." Some shit like that. This is a 10 out of 10 though, because it hurts, especially if it's a little bit of
It
true.
does.
Oh shit.
Broke
This is
and
a-
unemployed?
Just a direct insult. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
No job, no
He's
money.
been a bum since 86.
Terrible.
I don't know my purpose here. By Jay Crowder.
Man,
God.
that's just real. He just
Introspection.
he just didn't know what was going on.
To this day, he probably doesn't know what's going on.
If he said this on like a jazz album produced by Alchemist, 10 out of 10 classic album. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my gosh.
The relatability of man. The longing for purpose.
Oh
10
my
out of 10.
goodness.
This is a 10 out of 10. It sounds poetic as hell. I like it.
Just walking through a rainy night, looking to the skies, howling to the moon.
Drop both
just a
knees,
long
staring
drive.
at the sky. Damn.
Kevin Durant, let me die out there.
This guy's
This is a man who's serious about his buckets, bro.
This guy's a hooper.
I respect it. I respect it too.
Nobody's
I like
ever cared more about their buckets than Kevin Durant in this moment.
Nobody.
Not, now, you
Nobody's ever
can't use
cared.
this meme like that because it's like, let me die out there. You don't want to die.
Where's out there?
So it's like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like out there needs to be specified. But
yeah, exactly. But in terms of the ore behind this, it's real
Elite.
stories.
Last but not least, we got Joel Embiid. This is not a rivalry. They always kick our ass.
again, very real. Very, very real. You can't have a one-sided rivalry. Because at some point, like, it's just hand on the face. I'm mushing you. I'm keeping you at arm's
Bullying.
length. Yeah. It's more torture than a rivalry. But the quote,
Assault.
I'm going 8 out of 10.
Okay. I like that.
It's a 10 out of 10 to me. He's been real since day one. He honestly like knows what it is, knows his team abilities, capabilities. They begin their ass up since God knows how long, up until this day. Real.
He's too real. They hate him for it.
Yeah.
They can't handle his level of realness.
Crazy.
And that's the end of this. That's all the quotes I got for you today. Next thing we're going to do, the 2021 NBA draft class has been in the news lately as people are starting to realize how monstrously loaded it is. There is just a ridiculous amount of good players. Probably 4 or 5 people are going to be all-stars by the time it's all said and done. It's already at 4. So today what I want to do is we're going to do a 2021 NBA redraft. And how we're going to do it is we're going to take turns making picks. So we're not going to come to consensus. I'll pick first overall, Donovan second, Mo third, and so forth. We'll take turns until we have a full top 10.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
full top 10.
So we'll
man.
see who fucks it up. If somebody fucks it up, we will let him hear about it.
Let's do it, man. This is my bag.
So, well, I'll start it off with the first pick. I'm happy to say Cade Cunningham has dethroned Evan Mobley. He once again goes number 1. Finally, I can say it this year. He is once again back on top.
Yes, the Cade Cunningham leap has been beautiful to see. Shout out to all of Detroit.
We'd love to see it.
You
Bro,
love
they're
to
real
see it.
conversations. Folks over here trying to tell me that Scotty Barnes is better. Not anymore. That sentence will never be uttered out of anyone's mouth ever again.
Never.
That's the right
I never
pick.
wanted to believe it. But that means that at number 2, we will take Evan Mobley.
Naturally, you got to go him number 2.
Okay.
That's not even hard to me. That's clear cut 1 and 2.
Okay. I think it's more debatable, especially coming from that's like crazy coming from you, Isaac, because
Zero debates.
if these conversations are completely different just last year, bro. Like you were over here saying obviously.
Shit done
Like,
changed.
That was
Scottie
last
Barnes
year.
Way better.
That was last
This is
year.
not the old days. Evan Mobley is way better this year. He's playing on all NBA level. I ranked him at 30 in our December player rankings. Closer to 20 these days.
Absolutely. But I will say, what do you need to see from Scottie Barnes? And like this conversation just isn't dead though. Like I don't think it's this easy of a conversation.
I think he's easy and lapped.
Wait, time out.
Pick your number 3 first. Pick number
Yeah,
3 first.
yeah.
Who's
Yeah,
number 3 for
Scottie
you?
Barnes. 3 Scottie Barnes is easy, clear as day.
Oh,
Tripping. I'm going number 4, who I think should be number 3, Franz
Thank you.
Wagner.
thank you.
Oh,
I think Franz Wagner and Mobley have both lapped Scottie Barnes this year.
I agree. That's what I
Franz
thought.
Wagner's that's
What?
a great pick. Okay, that's a great pick. I said
Yeah.
on that. I fucked up that one.
It's not crazy though. Scottie should probably be number 4, so it's
Scotty's
not
an
insane.
all-star,
but-
so he has that.
Yeah,
rep.
it's not insane. But Franz, I am all in on him.
Okay, that's a fair one to be all in on.
All right,
Donovan, who's number 5?
another All-Star. We will take Sengun.
That's fair. I'm sure Rockets fans want to see him go higher, but I'm very comfortable with him at 5.
Sengun. Okay. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit muddy.
Yeah, this is where it's interesting.
Last 5 is fun. Last 5 is really about fit and how you want to build a team. And obviously, it's the 2021 draft, so there's still upside on these guys. But
Right now, I'm
very
thinking
fun.
about ceiling, and when it comes to pure ceiling, I'm leaning towards Jalen Johnson at 6.
I would do that as well. Jalen Johnson is
He
the right
was-
pick, I believe.
he was my 6 as well.
Okay,
I'm going to go ceiling as well for number 7. Give me Trey Murphy.
great pick. We locked in.
Okay, so this one's tough. This one's tough at 8. I
Damn,
have
no Jalen
I have
Green?
2 names.
It's tough.
I have 2 names.
Hey, this is the hardest pick because there's like 4 names you can pick from right now.
And see, this is tough. This is tough. Because on one hand,
There's 2 elite defenders and 2 great bucket getters left.
And you know what? I'm going to go with the guy who can be all defense and has shown a leap in his shooting as well. Give me Jalen Suggs.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going. Okay.
Okay. I like that. Jalen Suggs. All right, I think I'm going to lean towards another great defender. Give me Herb Jones. All NBA
Yeah, I thought Herb was
first
gonna go over
team type
Suggs.
defender. No, I think I'd rather have Suggs for now because
It's very
Seems a little
very
bit
hard. Yeah, it's very hard. Herb made a leap with his shooting last year, but I think like the first 20 games of this season, and like again, it's like the whole season was lost for the Pelicans, so whatever. But I think that the shooting leap that we've seen from Suggs is a little bit more real, and I trust it a little bit more. So I think I would take him over Herb Jones.
Okay.
But it's
at 10,
but it's hard.
At 10, I know sometimes people like to omit this guy because he wasn't drafted. Don't care. We're going Austin Reeves. If you redo it, he is 100% going top 10.
wow, you'd rather
That's crazy.
Austin Reeves.
Jalen Green outside the top 10.
Yeah, easily. Sorry. It sucks to say and it's shocking, but goddamn, bro. He's
If you were the
easily outside.
Lakers, would you trade Austin Reeves 1-for-1 for Jalen Green today?
No, I would not.
Hell no, you wouldn't. Does Austin Reeves deserve to go higher on this list though?
I would have put him at 8. Actually, I don't know. Suggs and Herb Jones, that's tough. He's older. I don't know.
It's about fit.
I forget Austin Reeves is older.
8 to 10 is the range he can go. I'm fine with 10, but he can 8 is the highest you can put him, I think.
Yeah, he does. He can't. He's not touching Trey Murphy conversations just yet.
Well,
In
I mean, he's
terms of
currently
longevity.
better than Trey
Honest-
Murphy, but Trey's
Yeah.
like making that leap now
Yeah.
that like I think Trey's gonna keep getting better.
Yeah, he's like Trey Murphy could actually be. There's a real case and scenario that Trey Murphy's going to be an All-Star next year. That would not surprise me in the slightest.
But like, I mean, is Jalen Johnson better than Austin Reeves right now? I don't know. Like, but it's
right
an age
now,
thing. Like,
no. But it's an age thing, and it's also like. Who's
hey,
gonna
all I'm
be
hearing is
best?
Reeves can be 6. That's all I'm hearing is Reeves should be 6.
All right, we've had
right.
enough
We
Laker
are so
talk.
done.
No, Reeves is at 10. We're good.
Okay, fair enough.
We're good.
This is a crazy good draft class, man.
You know what? Put
It's
Jalen Green at
insanely
10.
deep, bro. It's insanely deep.
Next thing we're gonna do, we're heading over to hoopgo.com, a site we've been frequenting as of late, doing a lot of blind rankings and stuff. They have a lot of fun mini games on here that are just essentially made for us to make TikToks with, it feels like. Today, we're gonna play this game where they give us random NBA lineups of players from an assortment of eras, and we gotta decide which one would win.
Okay.
So as you guys see right here, we got Team 1 versus Team 2. Who is winning this matchup?
This is not a conversation to me. I'm going with Team 1.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a fucking.
it's
wash.
Michael
Holy
Jordan versus Vince Carter, so it's a bit tough to start from.
Yeah, that's the That's the big mismatch. Obviously, Larry Bird versus Tatum. That's a good matchup. Charles Barkley.
Well, hold on. Kevin Garnett and Wilt is a crazy front court.
Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon is dominating.
I don't know if he's dominating. You have Kevin Garnett and Wilt Chamberlain there on the interior. That's tough.
He's gonna hit him with lateral movement. He's gonna hit Kevin Garnett with some stuff he's never seen. I'm taking team one.
Team one's a Washington team, bro.
Okay, I think Vince Carter is a tough part, but okay, we can go team one. We gotta pick it. Okay, 97% of people agreed.
Smart
I'm
people.
a man of the people.
Next up, this is duos: Kareem and Hakeem versus Wilt and Jokic.
Man.
See, that's tough.
This is insane.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Wilt and Jokic, I don't care. If the fit is insane. Jokic throwing lobs to Wilt in the dunker spot, are you kidding me?
Time out. It's only
2-on-2.
2-on-2. We're not doing dunker spot stuff in 2-on-2.
Wait, so is it 2-on-2 or is it who you want to build your 5-on-5 team around?
I think it's 2-on-2 because it's just asking who would
2-on-2.
win.
Okay, so we're doing 2-on-2 game. Oh. Well, if it's just 2-on, if it's 5-on-5, I'm going Jokic and Wilt. If it's 2-on-2, I guess you gotta go Kareem and Hakeem because it's all about defending each other 1-on-1. And Jokic's defense is the weak link.
Yeah, exactly. I think regardless of the fact, if it's fucking 2-on-2, 3v3, I don't care what format it is. I think I'm leaning towards Kareem and Hakeem. That versatility.
5v5, Jokic and Wilt is crazy.
I understand, but it's like I see Wilt. I see how high he can jump, how fast he can run, and all that. But bro, you can't escape from Kareem. You can't.
Bro,
escape
imagine
that
if
shit.
Aaron Gordon was replaced by the greatest athlete in NBA history. It'd be outrageous. You can't defend that. But okay, we'll go with the top two guys for 2-on-2 purposes. Oh, another 2-on-2 one. Giannis and Nikola Jokic versus Nasty Man and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Giannis, they are beating Nasty Man and Kareem like crazy.
Hammers.
I'm going to
Hit him on top of the head with a hammer. Yeah, I don't even know if that's true, but we're not picking Nasty Man under any circumstances. So team one it is.
Team one is not even close.
Goodbye. Off my screen. Oh, he's on my screen again. Team two. Goodbye. Here we are. Another 5v5. Which team is winning?
LeBron and Jordan on the
honestly-
same team. I'm not even looking at the rest, bro. I'm not even looking at the rest.
Hold on. Why are these teams all 5 guards and forwards?
What is going on?
There's no bigs.
and that's fine. But the same. Listen, I'm looking at this lineup and I'm saying, Vince Carter, you don't belong here. And so I'm going with team one.
Hey, low-key though, LeBron and Scottie Pippen as a 4-5 is actually not that bad. Like that actually kind of makes sense. So team one stops.
It's not even close, bro. The
We're just picking
spacing
on Vince
is
Carter
there.
today.
Whew. The
So
spacing is actually kind of
how would that
team
lineup
one,
be?
though. The
So you
spacing
would
for team
have
one's ass.
Nash, Wade, MJ, LeBron, Pippen, or Pippen, LeBron.
This doesn't even matter, but yeah, something of that sort.
Yeah, they're killing team two.
They're killing them. This is a bloodbath.
Why they set Kobe up like that, man?
Next up, Wemby and De'Aaron Fox versus Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Now let's assume Joel Embiid's legs still work.
Yes, in a 2-on-2, I will go with Embiid and Max.
Yeah.
What happened to Embiid's neck? Something else happened to him that we don't know about? Damn.
This one's easy. 76% of you said Wemby and Fox. You are insane. 3-on-3. Siakam, Miles Turner,
I'm going with the
and
Knicks.
Halliburton.
We're going with the Knicks.
Pacers versus Knicks.
Isaac,
yeah,
did something happen to Donovan's mic? I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either. Is he saying something?
I don't know. But I think he kind of wants to go with the Indiana Pacers. It makes sense from last year's playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, he loves Tyrese Halliburton. He's commonly said Tyrese Halliburton has the best scoring back in the league. So I can only assume that if we could hear him right now, he'd be going Pacers.
Yeah, exactly. I think Pacers is the way to go, for sure.
And I think he thinks Pascal Siakam is really sexy. So I'm going to go Pacers on behalf
And
of
on top of
Donovan.
that, too, Donovan has a new passion for Legos, and so he sees a lot of himself in my...
Are you
Yes,
disparaged my name enough? I'm drawing the line at Legos.
I wish you could hear him. Next up,
Same.
Luka Doncic and LeBron versus Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash.
Oh, man. Man, that prime duel was nice.
In
But I don't give a
2-on-2,
damn.
LeBron is dusting Amari and Luka is dusting Steve Nash. This is abusive.
Yo, who is playing defense? Legitimately, who is playing defense?
I don't know. This is crazy. Oh, no, okay, a 5-on-5 with bigs. This one makes more sense. Team one versus team two. Hey, team one has Shaq and David Robinson, and then Steve Nash leading the offense with the anomaly in the middle. Hold on.
Ooh.
Bottom one: Luka, Kyrie, LeBron, Hakeem, and Wilt. Though.
Yeah,
Team two
was smoking
Team
them, bro.
2.
These teams are kind of crazy. I don't know.
It's
Team
nice.
two.
I think they probably fit better together. It's an easier fit to imagine. But team 2 is just like you got some of the greatest of all time there, bro.
Team
Yeah,
2 makes no
LeBron.
sense on paper. Team 1 does make sense, low key.
Yeah. But then again, it's Luka, Kyrie. We've seen that duo work before. It's LeBron and then Hakeem. And it's, now that I think about it, it's almost a glove and hat fit.
I'm going Team 2 pretty
See,
easily.
this is what we talk about. This is what Jayson Tatum's talking about when it comes to the lack of his fucking respect, bro.
He's matched up with LeBron.
Yeah, what do you want?
He's an NBA champion.
So is LeBron.
Many times over. Okay, here's one that actually makes sense a little bit. Actually, nope, no, mind, no big men. Team 1 versus Team 2. Jason Kidd, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Carmelo, and Pippen.
Hey,
Versus
listen,
Larry Bird, Kawhi, Curry, Carter, and Allen Iverson. I
you
don't
know
like
what
either of these teams.
You know what I said before? I said, Vince
What'd
Carter, you don't belong here. I'm going with Team 1.
Every time we just pick against Vince Carter and pick against
Yeah.
Nasty Man.
Yep.
Yeah, Team 1 smoking him.
Which sucks because I actually do like Vince Carter a lot.
And that's the end of what we got today. That's all the ones we can play through. And that marks the end of this episode. If people are still here, what should they comment? Mo.
Yeah, in your return.
iPad Mo is in the building. That's what I'll say. New equipment unlocked.
Someone asked, what were you doing in Turkey? They asked if you were getting transplants. They asked if you were getting BBLs.
I mean, I
Tahiti.
haven't stood up once in this podcast, so you know.
Comment if you're still here. Comment BBL Mo. Mo got the BBL in Tahiti when he was gone. And we'll see y'all next week.
Tahiti.